first-place Texas Rangers taking the field this afternoon. A very nice afternoon for a ball game, and these are some of the faces that have been wielding the hot bats, taking the Rangers to 14 wins in their last 20 games, and yes, a first-place standing. They are right now a game ahead of the Oakland A's, and they just so happen to be playing the Oakland A's this afternoon. We welcome you to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Along with Tom Grieve, I'm Josh Lewin. The Rangers about to go to Toronto, finishing up a homestand that's been just great so far. It's already had a complete game victory from one C.J. Wilson, and one C.J. Wilson goes at it again today.
He does go at it, Josh, and the question was, as a reliever, would C.J. be able to pitch deep enough into ball games to be an effective starter? I think he started to answer that in spring training, and he's answered it with almost every start this year. He hasn't had anything less than 6 innings. He took it to a new level, though, in his last start against Kansas City with a 9-inning complete game. Just an outstanding performance with great stuff, 113 pitches, saved the bullpen that day. CJ has more than answered all those questions of whether he could make the conversion to a starter. He's one of the best starters in the league the first month and a half of the season.
Yeah, the last several days he'd actually been number 1 in the league in ERA. Phil Hughes was awesome yesterday for the Yankees. He's now number 1, and CJ is number 2. He can reclaim that top spot if he shuts down the Oakland A's today. Again, it's the last game of a homestand. The Rangers will either be 2 games up on the Oakland A's or tied with the Oakland A's for first when we're done this afternoon. Ben Sheets, a guy that everybody thought would be a Ranger someday. No, he's an Oakland A, and he's pitching against the Rangers this afternoon on Fox Sports Southwest. Ranger Baseball brought to you today by the Ford F-150. Check out the 2010 F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. By Jack in the Box. Right now, choose any 3 for only $3 plus tax. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Partly cloudy, 83 degrees, not as humid as yesterday. Should be good to go. Rain in the state of Texas, but not in the Metroplex. And C.J. Wilson looking to do something that no Ranger has ever done before. That start of season with 7 straight quality starts. 6 in a row has given him an ERA of 1.51. And we'll scout him out here a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, great stats. 41 innings, only 31 hits. His share of strikeouts, a lot of ground balls. First career 9-inning complete game. That was against Kansas City. We haven't seen many of those. Only 4 extra base hits all season, all doubles. Has not given up a home run. You can go well into last season before you can find a game where he gave up a home run, for that matter.
One of the longest stretches in recent memory for the Texas Rangers. 78 innings in a row now without a home run, going back to before the All-Star break last year. Cliff Pennington, the first who will face him today. We'll show you the entire Oakland lineup in just a moment. The Rangers drubbed the A's last night 10-1. Pennington turns on one and fouls it. He'll be followed by Adam Rosales today, then Derek Barton. Kevin Kuzmanov, former Padre, is off to a nice start as an Oakland A. Fox and Powell, Donaldson and Gross, and Rajay Davis for manager Bob Guerin.
Whoa.
Close, but Bob Davidson says that's ball 2.
A little bit high, pretty close to being a strike, and that's been a pitch we've seen Pennington swing at a lot in the 5 games we've played.
He'll swing here and foul it away. Pennington out of Texas A&M. C.J. Wilson played at Loyola Marymount University, just about 5 miles away from downtown L.A.
CJ's ground ball to fly ball ratio is the 10th best in the league. Almost 2 ground balls for every fly ball that he gets. Throwing a good sinker, good changeup, tailing away from the right-hand hitters, getting a lot of ground balls. Left-hand hitters are only 3 for 39 against CJ.
Getting those weak ground balls so often. There's one. Elvis Andrus takes care of it. You can tell by the sheer volume of the squeals here today. There's a lot of kids at the ballpark on a Thursday afternoon. Check the Ranger defense. In fact, I guarantee it's on the first time somebody pops the ball up, like way up there, there's going to be just this big, huge outpouring of yelling from all the field trip participants today.
Yeah, there was about 5,000 or 6,000 kids out here way before the game for weather day at the ballpark, learning about the weather.
That's a very cool field trip. I mean, there's actual science involved, right? When you learn about the cloud formations and humidity, barometric pressure. But then you get to hang out and
watch a ball game.
Watch C.J. Wilson pitch. And I have no idea what kind of clouds those are. I think the scientific term is fluffy. Another ground ball for Elvis Andrus to handle. I love when the kids are here. It's such a different sound at the ballpark. That's as routine a ground ball as you're ever going to see. And it's like school's out for summer.
Well, it's the start of the game. Let's see if the kids can maintain it throughout the course of the game.
That would be huge. That'd be great. That is a real gift when you're seeing something for the first time. We forget. We see 162 of these a year, you know. And
tend to take them for granted. Not just the game, but how beautiful this ballpark is. If it's your first time walking in here, it's a pretty magnificent sight. I can remember walking into Yankee Stadium. My dad took me to my first game, walking through the gates into the ballpark and just being stunned at how beautiful the grass was. And I remember hearing Mel Allen talk about the monuments out in center field and the facade, and getting a chance to see it all for the first time is a pretty remarkable experience. And maybe those 2 kids right there are going through it right now.
Barton will take strike 2. There's a great line that I'll always remember from the book, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, where they say, look at everything as though you were seeing it for either the first or last time. And then your time on earth will be filled with glory.
Boy, that's a great statement. Wow. Pretty impressive first inning for CJ.
Not as much shrieking for a strikeout. Kind of weird, but C.J. Wilson's liking the fact that it's a 1-2-3 top of the first. A lot of people thought he would be a Texas Ranger in 2010, if not in 2009, but he missed all of 2009 with the elbow problems. And now in 2010, he is an Oakland Athletic. He's only got an ERA of 6.38. That is not even among the top 100 in the American League right now. We mentioned C.J. Wilson checks in at number 2. And we're scouting out Ben Sheets.
Giving up the most extra base hits in the major leagues. Missed all of last season with an elbow injury. He's had 7 starts this year. If you break it down, it's pretty dramatic, the difference between pitching at home and pitching on the road. On the road, his ERA is over 13. At home, it's 2.31. A much different pitcher back in Oakland than on the road so far this year. It's only 7 starts total.
One of the reasons people thought Ben Sheets might come to the Rangers organization is the fact that he and Mike Maddox share such a bond. They were together in Milwaukee for years. And according to Mike Maddox, he says Ben Sheets is my little brother. They talk about every 3 weeks. They share a lot of similar interests, not just baseball related. They'll talk all kinds of things off the field, college basketball, things like that. Strike 3 taken by Elvis. So Ben gets a chance to show off for Big Brother today. Mike Maddox watching on with a very interested bent, I would think. The Southwest Airlines Rangers batting order. It's Young after Andrews, as usual. Then Hamilton and Guerrero. They went back-to-back with home runs yesterday. Kinsler and Murphy, Smoke and Trainer, and then Julio Borbon.
Sheets was one of the more decorated amateur pitchers. He was the 10th pick in the draft by Milwaukee back in 1999. He pitched for Tommy Lasorda in the Olympics, pitched 3 times. In fact, he beat Cuba with a 3-hit shutout in the gold medal game. And then was an outstanding pitcher for the Brewers over the years. Didn't get a lot of support on some bad Brewer teams, but he had an above 500 record. In fact, 07-08, he was 25-14 before missing all of last season.
Now, when the Brewers made their run into the playoffs, and they hadn't been there forever, when they finally did get in, that was Ben Sheets pretty much doing a lot of that heavy lifting, along with C.C. Sabathia. Michael Young down on strikes.
Well, that's a big-time slider right there.
He used to be just kind of a fastball curveball guy, but he's a lot more than that as he's reinvented himself. The Oakland A's defensively, it's a young team. Josh Donaldson for the second time will catch Ben Sheets. Josh Hamilton pegs one to third. And so far, so good for Ben Sheets. A 1-2-3 inning. C.J. Wilson had one of those as well. Second inning coming up. the A's today, we go to Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Josh. In Community Corner this afternoon, we have Taisha Austin. She is with the Saved organization, great organization that helps family as well as their friends that have been affected by the HIV virus, correct?
Yes. Our organization is focusing on bringing awareness to the community as well by providing education and testing and risk reduction counseling. And also we provide special services for those who are infected with HIV.
All right, for those who want to help out, what do they need to do?
Just call or visit our website at www.saved.org. And our number is 972-815-9035.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Taisha. And good news, Rangers just got another out. Thank you very much, Josh.
Welcome, and thank you, Jim. Yes, but nothing but grounders to the left side and strikeouts in this game so far for Ben Sheets and C.J. Wilson. Big, beefy Jake Fox, former Chicago Cub, taking down and in. Bob Guerin trying to get as many right-hand bats in there against C.J. today. Wilson having allowed only 3 hits to lefties all year. They are 3 for 39 against him. In fact, lefties are more likely to get hit than get a hit regarding C.J. C.J. has hit 4 batters who have been left-handed but allowed only 3 base hits. Towards right, and that'll get down in front of David Murphy. So the right-hand batter going the opposite way, and the first base runner of the game is Jake Fox. Throw this little stat out at you, Tag, and it's kind of stark. The magic number for these Oakland A's is 4. 4 runs scored. When they do that, they are 17-1. When they don't get 4 runs, they are 1-15. So that's the little game within the game today. Stop them from getting to 4.
Well, I think it shows, too, that when they have that kind of a record, when they get 4 runs, it shows they have pretty solid pitching, which they do. Guys late in the bullpen are tough. Starting pitchers are pretty tough. Ben Sheets is off to a slow start, but he's much better than his line would look. Certainly looked that way in the first inning.
Infield, the double play depth for Landon Powell. And he's behind 0-2.
CJ's thrown 114 and 113 pitches in his last 2 starts. He's averaging right around 108 pitches per start. And it's getting him deep into the ball games. Averaging almost 7 innings per start, which is the highest number on the staff.
Surprising because, as you've already talked about, the big concern about C.J. Wilson making that transition. Could he go deep into games? He's gone the deepest.
Yep.
In there, strike 3 called. A little eye roll from Landon Powell, but that's it for him.
Yeah, pitch is almost right down the middle of the plate. And the only complaint is he didn't swing at it. Hard to fault the umpire for that call. That was a no-brainer.
Josh Donaldson, the other active catcher on the roster, and just like yesterday, Bob Guerin, the former catcher himself, puts both of his catchers in the lineup. Powell, the DH, Donaldson behind the plate today. Kurt Suzuki having a tough time getting healthy with those strained ribs. Still on a rehab assignment. There's 2 more strikes from CJ.
Boy, 2 quality strikes, too. The sinker tailing down and away, and then the cutter in on the fists. After you've seen those 2 pitches, you're thinking, I can't hit either one of those pitches.
On appeal, nothing doing, says Alfonso Marquez.
And that changeup and sinker to right-hand hitters that tail down and away. That's what he gets all his ground balls on. Pretty tough to get that pitch in the air if he keeps it down.
Down at the feet of Donaldson this time. Well, keeping the ball down so effectively. You talked about the run of innings without a home run allowed. And staggering to be talking about a guy who's only given up 4 doubles in now 43 innings of work.
It is.
Slowly hit to Elvis Andrus. His play is to first. No problem. C.J. Wilson keeps it 0-0 at the ballpark. Voting now open for the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. You can help send your favorite Ranger to this year's game in Anaheim and vote up to 25 times at TexasRangers.com. Vlad Guerrero sends one screaming into the crowd here at the ballpark. No score, bottom 2. Vlad among the home run hitters yesterday. The Rangers pumped out 5 of them, a season high, and a 10-1 win. 10 runs total without a single base hit with a runner in scoring position. That had never been done by a Rangers team before. They've only been at this for 39 years. It had never happened before. We were told the last such game in baseball was 7 years back. The Angels did that. Scored that many runs without the benefit of getting a hit with the runner in scoring position. It was easy, just runners at first or no men on. And a bunch of home runs would follow. Your Coors Light cold hard blast from Vlad Guerrero. So now back live, he slaps one on the ground to third. 4 up, 4 down for Ben Sheets. Obviously, the other important element of yesterday's game, 10 runs is wonderful, but how about Derek Holland yesterday? He was confident and aggressive and poised. 6 shutout innings for the Rangers yesterday.
It was nice to see Derek maintain his level of performance in the big leagues that he had established at the AAA level. And he did it by pitching pretty much the same way. Solid fastball, and his complementary pitches were good, and he threw him for strikes.
There's a strike from Sheets. Kinsler was part of the fun yesterday with a couple of hits. Maybe the most fun was that play where he said he was trying to steal home. He said that was actually his intent as he came on down the line at third. And after a lot of discussion after the game, it was decided apparently, Tom, that was a balk after all things.
Evidently, the umpires didn't see it at the time, but there was no doubt that it was balk. Ian even stopped because he'd seen the balk. It would have been interesting, though, if the balk wasn't called and Gonzalez threw accurately to the plate, Ian would have been out by 40 feet. And I'm not sure what they would have done then, except maybe missed the call and cost the Rangers a run.
Gio Gonzalez fires it away as Ian was coming down the line.
The other thing is, if that play had developed normally, Ian would have been out by about 20 feet trying to steal home. So it's not that easy a thing to do. Rangers caught a break right there.
That made it a 2-0 game at the time. Rangers just kept on hitting home runs after that. David Murphy sends one in the air to right center. Look out! That's Gabe Gross clanging into Rajay Davis. The inning is over. No score at the end of 2. Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by Geico, where 15 minutes can save you 15% on car insurance, and by AT &T. See what's new from AT&T. Go to att.com for details. Weather Information Day at the ballpark today. A lot of field trips have taken the Rangers invite to come on out for a little bit of science class and a little bit of baseball underneath some sunny skies. The Rangers will head to where it is not really that warm after this game today. They go to Toronto, but only for 3. Rich Harden, the former Oakland A, will be on the mound tomorrow for the Rangers. Brett Cecil, good-looking young lefty, going for the Jays. And Toronto continues to play well, partner. They're 20-16, but they're 5 games out in the East.
Yep, they've hit some home runs and they've gotten good pitching.
They'd be in
miss Sean Markham. He pitched a great game against him here.
The Jays would be in first place in the West, but in that Toronto is not a westerly city. Don't have to worry about that. Then again, Oklahoma City and Omaha are in the Pacific Coast League, so. 3-0 pitch to Gabe Gross is a strike. Now, Toronto at 20-16, trailing both the Yankees and the Rays by a decent margin. Tampa Bay now 24-10 with a win yesterday. Gross on 3-1, shoots it towards left for Hamilton.
CJ came back from the 3-0 count.
That brings up a guy that the Rangers have really struggled to get out the last couple of years. Former Pittsburgh Pirate and briefly a San Francisco Giant, Rajay Davis. He's got a 14-game hitting streak against the Rangers spread over a couple of years. And research tells us that he is within 1 of the all-time Oakland record for most consecutive games hit in against the Rangers. That would be Geronimo Baroa at 15 in a row back in the mid-90s. Your son played with Mr. Baroa, right?
Yeah, he was a good player for the A's for about 3 or 4 years.
Sure was. That was the John Jaha era with the A's.
Baroa might have been there just a little bit before that.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
I don't think Jaha and Baroa were there at the same time. And I think Ben got to Oakland a little bit after Baroa, if I remember right.
Yeah, Baroa was mid-90s. That's true. And Jaha was in there with Stairs and Giambi and those guys in the late 90s.
Yep.
What about Mitchell Page? That was earlier, right?
That was. I might have played against Mitchell Page. I can't even remember.
The Dave Kingman, Tony Armas years. Got him. Rajay Davis down on strikes, and that's 3 for C.J. Wilson.
An off-speed pitch before it, and then froze him with that good hard fastball right on the inside corner. You can see Matt move into the inside corner. C.J. puts the ball right in his glove.
Top of the order, and Cliff Pennington.
Oh, good movement on that sinker, boy. Tailing away right in the outside corner. CJ has ultimate concentration on the mound. You can just see it in his face.
Oh, he loves it when he's able to talk about how in tune he is to that, what he calls that Jedi mentality. Exactly what you're talking about. Just zeroing in. Kind of Karate Kid-like. Just, that trance-like state.
He's got so many weapons right now. He can hit the outside corner with his sinker, his changeup. He can throw his cutter like he just did to bring it back to the outside corner. Just the hitter has a hard time gauging what type of pitch, where it's going to be, and having a good swing and hitting on the good part of the bat. That's why he hasn't given up a home run. Everything's moving, but all in different directions. Tough to pick up a pattern and find a pitch to look for and hit if you're a hitter.
CJ's self-critique so far has been a few too many walks. He'd like to kind of minimize the pitch count, throw a few more strikes, but then so would everybody, I would think.
It's tough to find. I guess if you're going to look for something, that's what you would pick out, but it's tough to find fault with CJ's start. He's walked 15 batters now in, let's see, 44 innings. That's not bad. That's about 3 per 9 innings. That's probably somewhere right around the league average, maybe a little better than the league average.
It's like looking for a pimple on Miss America, though, I mean, it's
pretty much.
Just enjoy the beauty. 3-2 to Pennington. And this, well, and again, I mean, if CJ is going to give in to that self-critique, this is what he's talking about right here. You get a situation like this, chance to get out of the inning, 3-2. This next pitch, this is supposed to be a strike. And Pennington might have helped him out a little bit right there. Pitch towards the outside edge. Five days rest for CJ. The Rangers had an off day after that 4-1 win against the Kansas City Royals. He beat Zach Greinke. Rolled to third. Backhand pickup, Michael Young. Chest high throw to get Pennington. 5 straight set down by C.J. Wilson.
To the bottom of the third, Josh and Tom, as you mentioned, a lot of schools out for field trips today. This is the Capel Middle School. You guys having a good time, huh? All right, very nice. We did find one troublemaker in the bunch. A young man, stand up. Why, it's Ralph Stranges. What are you doing out here?
I'm chaperoning. I'm chaperoning.
Your daughter goes to Capel.
Yes, she does. Savannah and her friends and everybody's here, and we love the Rangers. We're proud of Capel, and it's great to be here today.
Enjoy the rest of the game. Thanks, Capel. Josh.
Ralphie looking
All
good
right.
cash today. Thank you, guys. What a great job he and Razor do on the Stars telecast. And Ralphie is a big-time Ranger fan. He watches just about every game. And he is very involved in that Capel community. Got a name tag and everything. Look at that. That was cell phones blowing up, as the kids say. I don't say that, but the kids say that. It's probably Razor texting him right now. Two and two to Justin Smoke. And Ben Sheets, the conventional wisdom all year last year was that he would be a Texas Ranger. And had he been healthy enough to pitch, he probably would have been. After missing the tail end of 08 for Milwaukee, he was out all of 09. And it was Oakland that won the bidding to try to test out his remade arm. He's on so far. It was 7 up, 7 down. Remember, he came in with an ERA about 6.5.
And not pitching very well on the road. He had back-to-back starts on the road where he gave up 19 hits and 17 runs and 7 in the third.
That's not good.
That's not good. But then in his last start, he beat Tampa Bay with a real nice start. Pitched into the 7th inning, struck out 8, only gave up a couple of runs to a real good hitting team.
Really jarring in spring training. Remember that right around St. Patrick's Day came the dispatch that he had lasted 0 innings, gave up 10 hits and 9 runs. And it was just, oh, really? I mean, because you root for Ben Sheets, good guy. And at that point, his spring training ERA was 31.15. But again, he's ironing a lot out, coming back from having missed all of 09.
And if you're a rookie trying to make a team, that's disastrous. If you're a veteran, he doesn't care too much about what his spring training numbers were. He's just working on something, trying to build up his arm strength. He's throwing the ball really well today.
Down too low to Trainer. He's definitely got the look of a man who thinks he's in control. A little bit of a swagger up there, just chewing his gum. Like this is no big deal. Caught the inside corner. A little comeback breaking ball right there. 3 strikeouts for Ben Sheets.
Almost caught the corner. CJ got a call in the same area, different kind of pitch. Sheets has a real good curveball, sharp breaking curveball. That one didn't come too much from right to left. It went straight down.
That one kind of loops around the plate to Bourbon. Julio 8 for his last 24. He's kicked that batting average up into the 220s.
Right-hand hitters have hit 120 points higher than left-hand hitters against Sheets. Not sure exactly what the reason for that would be. It's only 7 starts into the season, so probably not anything.
I think sometimes that kind of thing is just sample size. When, you know, the couple games where he just didn't have it.
And there were some really good right-hand hitters in the lineup.
Yeah, you're facing Toronto and you don't have it against Vernon Wells and he goes 3 for 3. That'll pop that up a little bit. Up and outside, the first Ranger base runner has plenty of speed. That's Julio Bourbon, who is itching to run. He hasn't even attempted a steal in 19 games. Has just 4 steals for the year.
Well, one thing you will say about the Rangers, if you're an opposing manager, you better be ready no matter who gets on base. They'll run anytime, any place. Ian was stealing home on his own. Elvis was going to try to steal third on his own. And so in a couple of cases, it may be a little bit careless judgment by the base runners. Good ideas, but and the other side of it is, if you're going to be a good base stealer, we said this a lot too, you have to be kind of carefree on the bases and not worry about getting picked off. Otherwise, you'll never get a jump.
There goes Bourbon, and he's in there.
Oh, Rosales tried to trick him.
Yeah, the deke was on. Rosales and Pennington were in on it. They got up and scrambled after a ball that they were trying to sell to Bourbon as in right center field, but Julio didn't take the bait.
Bourbon got probably as good a jump as you can get without leaving before the pitcher makes his move. And then with his speed, catcher Donaldson had no chance to throw him out on that.
Andrews takes a look at a strike.
Good curveball.
Bourbon has 5 of those. Andrews has 14 of those 37. 2 traditional sluggers right there, the White Sox and the Rangers, on top in stolen bases. Here's a deke that we're talking about too. Watch the second baseman Rosales. Oh, I got to go get it. Oh, no.
Problem is, if he took 2 or 3 steps, they couldn't have got him anyway because there's no one on second base. Could have got him if he tried to go to third, though. Curveball for a strike, fastball for a strike. Got Elvis looking on a good fastball outside corner first time up.
This is where Elvis has done some real good work with runners in scoring position. Curveball hung up there. It's a base hit for Elvis Andrews. Here comes Bourbon. Rangers on top 1-0.
That's exactly what it was. A curveball hung up there. First curveball for a strike was sharp breaking in a decent location. That one didn't have the same bite to it. Was about belt high and out over the plate. Elvis didn't necessarily smack it too hard, but he located it well right up the middle. You see number 4, it never came down. Right back by Sheets up the middle for a base hit and a run.
Longest active hitting streak in the majors is now 13 for Elvis Andrews. Elvis diving back in. Elvis does have 14 steals, but he's also been caught the most of any major league player. Pitching out, but nothing doing. On your Ford leaderboard, on base percentage here this month, the Rangers have Michael Young and Ian Kinsler joining Youkilis and Span. May has been the month for the Rangers the last 3 years. They were 20-9 in May in 2009.
Sheets is doing the right thing. Sheets is thrown over there. He's held the ball. He's a veteran. He knows that Elvis wants to run, and he's going to make it as difficult for him to time his jump as he can. Even the kids don't like that play with the visiting team.
It slows everything down, but again, that's the point for Ben Sheets. In a 1-0 game, he doesn't need Elvis Andrews at second. Michael Young off the end of the bat. This ball sinking. Basket catch on the run for Gabe Gross to end the inning. But the Rangers get the 2-out knock from Elvis Andrews, and they lead 1-0. coming in just a week and a half. Friday night, the post-game fireworks show. Saturday, the 22nd of May, it's a 6:05 start and a post-game concert by Wade Bowen presented by Budweiser. Sunday afternoon game, 8,500 fans, 13 and under, get a Rangers pillowcase at that one. Call 972-RANGERS right now. Make sure you're here for what's going to be a jam-packed weekend. Great crowds expected for the Cubs' rare appearance here at the ballpark. Rudy Jaramillo coming back to town with a star pupil, Marlon Byrd, having some kind of season over there. In fact, he's got a .400 batting average in the last 4 weeks. Playing a great center field for Chicago. Got another former Ranger there, Alfonso Soriano, coming back. Here's a Chicago native, Adam Rosales. An old foul one against C.J. Wilson.
Well, the Cubs made a great sign when they signed Marlon. The contract was a fair contract, 3 years, $15 million. At the time, though, it was just out of the Rangers' budget, just because of the change in ownership and everything that was going on in that direction. Rangers didn't have the finances to make that sign.
Cubs are still struggling, though. In fact, both the Chicago teams are under 500. Both of the LA-based teams are not playing winning baseball right now. The Dodgers are playing better. Not the Angels, though. They're 15 and 21. On the ground left side, Michael Young cuts it off, pirouettes and throws. The pick by Smoke, they got him.
What a nice play all the way around. Good range by Michael. Difficult throw, spinning like that. Accurate enough, but it needed a finishing touch, was Jason picking it out of the dirt to complete the play. That's a nice way to start the inning. Instead of a man leading off on base, he's erased on a ground ball.
The Home Depot presenting doing more on defense. Justin Smoke has really worked on that art of the pick over there. Ron Washington getting very hands-on with that. Derek Barton chops it to second base. C.J. Wilson, a one-hitter so far. Cleanup man Kevin Kuzminoff coming next as we check out our AT trivia question for the afternoon. The only two Ranger pitchers to finish in the top 10 in ERA over the last 10 years. Can you name them? And right now, C.J. Wilson is second behind Phil Hughes in the AL. Now, Hughes was fantastic shutting down Detroit yesterday. You got a top three right now in ERA in the American League of three guys that I guarantee you nobody would have said coming into the year. Phil Hughes, C.J. Wilson, and Doug Fister.
I'd say if you pick those three, you should go to Las Vegas at the end of the season. But if you've watched them pitch so far this year, it's not a surprise. I watched Hughes pitch yesterday, and that curveball he was throwing was unhittable. We've watched C.J. every start. That's not a surprise. And we batted against Fister and saw him. It's not a surprise the way he's throwing either.
Kuzminoff will rake one into center field, a base hit. Number 2 for the Oakland A's today. Well, and in the National League, Tom, same thing. I mean, you know, you got guys that you've heard of and would have guessed pitching well. Roy Halladay and Tim Lincecum and guys like that. But the top 3 are Ubaldo Jimenez, Jaime Garcia, and Livan Hernandez.
Yeah, Livan Hernandez is a shock based on how he was throwing the ball a few years ago. No doubt about that. Ubaldo Jimenez, I got a feeling if we were more familiar with him watching him in the National League, that wouldn't be a surprise.
This ball is going to drop right down in front of Bourboin.
Jimenez is a guy that maintains upper 90s velocity with devastating off-speed pitches for 9 innings.
Matt Trainer was out there talking to the home plate umpire Bob Davidson. I'm not sure about what, but now Trainer and Wilson and Elvis Andrews are getting together out there on the mound. That's a tough break for CJ. Made a nice pitch on Fox. And just kind of bloops it right in between Kinsler and Bourbon. So here's Landon Powell, who took a called third strike in the second. That one was close too, but called the ball. We're taking you back to that bloop hit. Well, it's an interesting reaction from CJ.
I think he just didn't know where the ball was. He saw the ball go off the bat. He put his arms out. Where is it? The only thing I could think of.
Two close pitches here that have been called balls to Powell. That one catches a corner.
If that pitch was a strike, it's almost an unhittable pitch as much as that ball moved. It almost looks like a right-handed cutter the way it tails away. A little bit outside. But the umpire has to deal with that movement too, because that pitch was on the corner most of the way, and then the late movement brought it a little bit out of the strike zone.
3-1 the count. Powell's had a pretty decent series against the Rangers. Been a tough out. And a walk to load the bases. All of this with 2 out. Mike Maddox will make his first trip out there. CJ has been exceptional with runners in scoring position here early in 2010. He's about to face a guy with only 1 major league hit, but that 1 hit was a home run. The A's have won 5 of 7. Even though they've been hit hard by injuries, they're finding ways to get it done. And here they are with a chance to take the lead on CJ in the 4th inning. The Rangers, of course, have played even better. Over the last 3 weeks, they're 14-6. Best in the major leagues. Cranked in left field. It's going to drop. The Oakland A's have tied the game, and it gets sent back in very quickly by Josh Hamilton to make sure it's just 1-1.
Well, both of them breaking balls. That one was up, and Donaldson had a good swing at it. Good pitch to hit.
4 straight 2-out base runners for the A's. But now CJ gets to face the lefty. Gabe Gross coming up. And add too much to the plate.
Boy, 2 quick outs and 4 straight base runners.
The fact that CJ gets to face the lefty now, maybe that'll settle him back down. Lefty's 3 for 42 now this year against Wilson. And looking like 3 for 43. Elvis Andrews makes the catch, and CJ's out of the inning. But the A's have now tied the score. Now trying to unlock a 1-1 tie, and we can also unlock a mystery for you, too, in just a moment. Hamilton, robbed by Rosales. His throw is picked by Barton. What a play. One pitch, one out here in the bottom of the fourth. And Tom, going back to that shot that we showed you of C.J. Wilson reacting somewhat incredulously right after he threw a pitch. What we missed, but now we've just been told up here in the press box, is apparently a balk had been called as C.J. delivered. But because Jake Fox went ahead and swung the bat, we were just talking about this the other night. You take the best result if you're the Oakland A's, right? And because Fox got a base hit, the hit stands.
Yeah, every time you're a hitter and you hear balk called, swing as hard as you can at the next pitch, because nothing bad can happen. You're at least going to get the balk, and if you do something better than the balk, it'll count.
That certainly explains C.J.'s hands outstretched reaction as soon as he delivered that ball. Vlad Guerrero tags one, but foul.
Nice play by the ball girl down there. Routine play. Made it look easy.
Another one fouled. This time just above the press box. Now, it was kind of a weird stretch there for C.J. Wilson with 2 outs in the top of the fourth. And the A's to get 1 run out of it. Ooh, Ben Sheets dials it down and gets Vlad for out number 2.
Sheets has a real good pitch count going. He's under 50 pitches here in the 4th inning with 2 outs.
Well, let's quickly get you back to the AT&T trivia question. The 2 Ranger pitchers to be in the top 10 in ERA the last 10 years. Kenny Rogers and Kevin Millwood. Kevin has a very similar ERA this year, but hasn't won a game yet.
I don't think he was in today. Seattle had a 5-1 lead against Kevin, but Baltimore scored 5 runs, and they're ahead 6-5 now. But I'm not sure if Kevin was in there when they got the 5 runs.
Bunch of home runs in that game. Mike Sweeney has hit his first of the year for Seattle. Ichiro's hit his first of the year. Michael Saunders, number 2. Corey Patterson has hit one just a day after his brother Eric hit one here. And Luke Scott hit number 6 for Baltimore today. Yeah, 6-5 Baltimore in the 9th. Kinsler draws a 2-out walk. Let's see if the Rangers can do what the A's just did and start going to town with 2 out. All right, Tag, we're going to take you back. And the C.J. Wilson balk that was called in the top of the inning.
I don't know. I don't see it.
If they're saying he didn't come to a complete stop, I'm with you. I kind of thought he did.
I mean, he didn't take a lot of time once he brought his hands down, but it looked like a complete stop. If you watch pitchers day in and day out, it seems like you've seen that before.
It's the same argument you can have with the police officer that pulls you over for going through the stop sign. What's a complete stop? In your mind, yeah, I rolled to a stop. I just kind of got going right away again. And the officer can say, well, you didn't stop completely. Close. Kinsler back. One strike to count to David Murphy. And again, Kinsler makes it pretty close. I'm sure Kins is itching to run just like Bourbon was earlier. He had the 31 steals a year ago. Missed the first 4 weeks this season. He is 2 out of 3 stealing bases so far in 2010. Kinsler is going now, and Murphy swats it foul. Against Ben Sheets, who's making only his second ever start against the Rangers. Made one as a Brewer 3 years ago. And boy, those 7 years that he was actually healthy for Milwaukee, he won between 10 and 13 games every year. Hard to believe with his rock-solid ERA numbers every year. It wasn't until 2008 that he won as many as 13 games. He was like the king of going 11-11 with bad run support. Seemed like every year. Kinsler goes. Murphy takes. And Kinsler just kind of walks into the tag. Well, that did not go well. And the Rangers and the A's are tied 1-1 at the end of 4. It's Ben Sheets against C.J. Wilson this afternoon. The A's trying to tie the Rangers for first place. The Rangers trying to take a 2-game lead on the Oakland A's. Former Ranger, former Oakland Athletic, former a few others. Mark McLemore kind enough to join us on a real nice day for baseball. And it looked like C.J. Wilson had everything going his way. And then with 2 out in the 4th inning, things just kind of got away a little bit.
It did, and I'll tell you, with CJ, usually he has 1 inning, and it's usually been the 4th or 5th inning where he kind of hits a bump in the road, but he minimizes the damage. And giving up 1 run, it's not a bad thing right now. But with Ben Sheets throwing the way that he's throwing, you really don't want to give up anything.
High fly ball towards right through the haze of the fireworks that were just shot off in between innings. Smoke gets in your eyes right about now, but David Murphy makes the play. Yesterday, Mac, a 10-1 Ranger victory, and it was nice to see the big bats just doing what we've become accustomed to them doing.
It really was. They haven't had a 17-hit game this season, so yesterday was the first, and hopefully it will continue, but I think it really will. And there's no coincidence, since Ian's been back in the lineup, it's changed things a little bit. Josh is getting more pitches to hit. Vlad's getting more pitches to hit. And even though Vlad was hitting well before, he's getting even better pitches to hit now. So I can't wait for Nelly to get back.
And Nelly is due back tomorrow. As the Rangers go to Toronto, there's a pop out from Pennington, 2 up, 2 down.
Mac, one of the interesting plays yesterday was the play where Ian tried to steal home. Did you ever try to straight steal a home before in your career?
I never did. That's
you don't see it very often nowadays.
You really don't. That takes a lot, and it takes a certain situation, a certain pitcher, a certain time in the ball game, and I just never had that opportunity.
Most pitchers today throw from a stretch when they have a guy at third, so you really don't get a chance to try it very often.
No, you don't. I was surprised Gio was going from the stretch or from the windup with Ian at third base, a guy who's been known to steal bases. So it caught him last night.
These A's under Billy Martin used to love that steal a home with Ricky Henderson. They tried it with Dwayne Murphy. But it is absolutely a dying art form now, no doubt.
A lot of those steals, and a lot of the steals of Homer would meant on first and third, where they throw down, the guy comes home, or Billy used to have a play where the guy would take his lead with a left-hand pitcher and trip on purpose to get the left-hand pitcher to throw to first base, and as soon as he threw to first base, the guy on third with a big lead would score on the play. There's a lot of different ways to get a steal of home, but the straight steal where you just try to beat the pitcher's pitch to the plate is really a lost art. I can't remember the last time I saw it in a game.
No, you just don't see it. There aren't many guys that really run anymore. I think
Rod Carew was fearless doing that for a little while.
He was good at it.
Yeah, he did it like 7 or 8 times in 1 year.
That one catching the corner to Rosales. And of course Jackie Robinson, going way back.
Stole it on the Yankees. Seen that play about 100 times. Was he out or was he safe?
He was out.
You think he was out? Yogi thought he was out.
Yogi sure did.
I thought he was safe, but
did you?
Yeah.
Rosales.
I thought Yogi put his glove down and left like maybe 2 inches of the plate before Jackie slid into his glove.
Rosales draws that walk, and for him, nothing's an actual walk for Rosales. He draws a sprint. You gotta love a guy like that. Just runs everywhere.
You do. I mean, he's a hustler. He likes to play the game. It reminds me of Eric Burns. Eric Burns was that way. Just everywhere he goes, he's running.
Except now, because we're told that since his release, he's hooked on playing, of all things, slow pitch softball, where he can just be jaunty and just kind of walk at his own pace there.
No one else is making $11 million playing slow pitch.
No, they are
softball.
not. That's for sure.
He's got the last laugh. That's for sure.
Oh, cue shot foul off the bat of Barton. Eric Burns, if he wants to, though, I'm sure can, I'd say go into television or something like that. He's an outspoken guy.
Something tells me we'll see him on a television show somewhere, sometime soon, Dancing with the Stars, something.
Yeah, there's a good call.
He'll be around somewhere.
If someone called you up today and said, we want you on Dancing with the Stars, would you do it?
Absolutely not. Those dancing skills stay at home.
Or lack thereof.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Ocho Cinco did it.
He was good, too. Is he still doing it?
I don't know. Not on my TiVo. One strike pitch from CJ is a little bit outside to Barton. Patient hitter, Derek Barton. And obviously these Oakland A's, going back to the days that they chronicled in the book Moneyball, they are not unhappy when they develop guys like this that can take a bunch of pitches. 1-2. You didn't get asked to be in that movie? They optioned it. It's going to be a movie now, Moneyball.
No, they did not ask me to be in that one.
Not even like a little cameo? Or
not a cameo, not a thing. I think I would have to read the book first. So I haven't done that, so I would pass.
The 1-2 from C.J. Wilson is down. Did you enjoy your time with the Oakland Athletics, Mac?
I did. I had a good time. We were in contention all year long, and it was a fun time. Just any time that you're in a pennant race, and especially right up to the end, it makes things a lot easier to deal with.
There's Barton doing what he does. Work that count, go to 3-2. Imagine if they still had Jack Cust. They'd have those guys batting back-to-back. It'd be 3-2 every time, 2 times in a row.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've got to love it when a guy gets up there and can take pitches and feels comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. It's, there's some guys that don't mind and they don't care. They act like they have no strikes on them, and I like those guys.
Strike 3 called. I like that guy. I like C.J. Wilson.
I like him today, too.
Mac, thank you, buddy.
All right, babe, you got it, man.
See you after the game on Rangers Live. It's 1-1, middle 5. Your Compass Bank video summary. It has become a pitcher's duel today. Ben Sheets, back from his elbow issues, pitching very well. C.J. Wilson making the transition from out of the bullpen to starter for the Rangers. Both these guys have been on their game, and it is 1-1 in the bottom of the fifth. David Murphy at the plate. Ball and a strike to count to him. Murphy, Smoke, and Trainer for the Rangers. A very manageable pitch count for Ben Sheets, only 60 right now. And for a guy who's been struggling on the road this year, well, Ben Sheets pitching great.
If he had thrown every day like he's throwing today, there's no way his ERA would be 6.38. It'd be somewhere in the low threes probably. Because he's had good command and good stuff today, pitching against a good team too.
That ball getting away. David Murphy didn't realize it. Now he's going to take off, and this throw is in right field.
There's a break. David swung a pitch so high the catcher couldn't catch it.
And it looked for a moment like that second or two of hesitation, not knowing that the ball was back to the screen. Might cost David, but he's at first base following a strikeout anyway.
Actually, it wasn't that high. The catcher just missed it. It was high, but definitely catchable. I think they ruled that a pass ball.
Yep, indeed. Strikeout passed ball to bring up Justin Smoke.
Just watching it without looking at the monitor, it looked like the pitch was even higher than that. Well, that's a way to get a leadoff man on.
Baltimore has beaten Seattle, by the way, 6-5, rallying to get that done. And it was Mark Hendrickson in relief. They got that win.
Okay.
Cleveland is leading at Kansas City, beating Zach Greinke today, 3-0 in the fourth inning. Well, the Royals.
One thing Greinke can count on is he's going to have to throw a shutout to tie these days.
Yeah, no kidding. Smoke with a busted bat foul. The Royals have lost 7 straight, and you'd figure they like their chances today with Greinke on the mound, but at home trailing 3-0.
He matched up against CJ the last time and lost 4-1.
And out of that AL Central, your Jack in the Box standings, the Royals, who lost 4 straight to the Rangers, now down to 11-23. The Tigers still hanging around, and they're beating the Yankees today 6-0.
Justin Verlander against CC Sabathia.
Smoke with a towering pop-up. Ben Sheets will point it out. Grabbed and foul ground by Donaldson. Miguel Cabrera and Brennan Bosch have home runs for the Tigers in that game. Boy, Cabrera's having a great year.
He is, and I really like Brennan Bosch. We saw him that series against the Tigers when he'd just been called up. He's a big left-hand hitter with a good swing and power. I think he could be a real good young player for them.
Tigers also getting a fantastic rookie season out of Austin Jackson, the Denton product.
That's
He's looking very Rookie of the Year-like right now. Leading the American League in hits. And also in strikeouts, which is crazy. When he puts the ball in play, he's hitting about 450 or 460.
Well, if he keeps striking out and not walking, eventually his average is going to come down, because that's an incredible average when you put the ball in play to have. But the bottom line is, in his rookie season, leading off for a pennant contending team, he's doing a great job.
Matt Trainer took a called third strike in the third. A breaking ball that kind of boomeranged to the inside corner. That ball getting away. Murphy is going to end up at second base here. Remember, he struck out to get on base in the first place. So a passed ball and an error, allowing Murphy to get in a scoring position.
Sheets has thrown over to first a lot in this game. Finally threw one that the first baseman didn't have a chance to catch. The Rangers have a chance to score a run right here and steal a run. Little blooper score, David. That'd be a nice run to get.
Time called. That's why that was not a balk. Rangers took their 1-0 lead in the third on a 2-out hit by Elvis Andrews. And the A's got a 2-out hit in the top of the fourth from the catcher, Josh Donaldson. And for the most part, it's been the battle of C.J. Wilson and Ben Sheets. Trainer watches that one slide away. Breeze picking up a little bit. Very comfortable afternoon. 84 degrees right now. Trainer rolls it towards short. Murphy breaks to third. Julio Bourbon will get the opportunity to give the Rangers the lead. Of course, as weird of a trip it's been around the bases for Murphy, he might score some other way too. Wild pitch, balk.
Well, the Rangers have only had one hit in the game, but it was Elvis with a man on second that drove a run in. Be nice to get their second hit right here and drive in another run. They haven't had many base runners. Sheets has been that good today.
Both of the corner men are in, because Bourbon can certainly bunt for a base hit with his speed. That's such a nice weapon too. If you're Bourbon, going out there 2 strikes, not as much, because the guys at the corners will back up, but you draw those corner infielders in, and it's a lot easier just to roll one in between the hole at, say, third and short, and get the man home that way. Two-strike, 2-out pitch. Got him swinging. Tip your hat to Ben Sheets. Came in with an ERA of 6.5. And he is pitch for pitch with C.J. Wilson so far. It's 1-1. Texas Ranger Baseball being brought to you by your Texas Chevy dealers, proud sponsor of Texas Baseball. C.J. Wilson has pitched very well. Ben Sheets maybe even a shade better so far. It's a 1-1 tie in the 6th inning. The Rangers, after getting 17 hits last night, have only one this afternoon, but it drove in a run. And now Wilson going after the part of the order that tripped him up in the 4th inning. Kuzminoff, Fox, and Powell. Kuzminoff has hit safely in every game against the Rangers, going back to last year with San Diego. And every game so far, all 6 of them is an Oakland A here in 2010. A drive and a left. And Hamilton with the call and the catch. We say hello to our good friend Rick Renner.
Hey guys, want to remind everybody to check out the website at foxsportssouthwest.com. Got all kinds of cool stuff like a chat with TCU's own Gary Patterson and Roy Williams of the Cowboys, who says he's not going to be a bench warmer. In fact, he claims he's going to be a starting receiver. That and post-game of today's game and more moving pictures with Josh and Tom. Check it out at foxsportssouthwest.com. You never know what Tag's going to say on there. Back up to you.
Thank you, Renner man. Appreciate it.
He better be a regular for what they paid to get him.
Roy?
Yeah, I'm a regular. I hope so. But the other side is he's got to start playing like one, too. Now, I guess I qualify as a football expert because I play fantasy. I play fantasy football.
You can ring in with hot sports opinions anytime on football now because the junior mints have finished above 500 every year.
Any fantasy player is an expert. Just ask him.
Kinsler taking care of Fox. Well, the Rangers players usually have a very spirited fantasy football draft.
Let's put it this way. He may be a regular for the Cowboys, but he won't be a regular in the Ranger Football League. At least not to start the year.
What if he's listening? He's going to be so bummed now.
I'm trying to motivate him. I'm a Cowboy fan. I want to see him go out and play hard, play and win.
Represent the junior mints,
Roy.
There you go.
I like the first 2 preseason games. I'll have a steal in the draft.
Powell will check and take down too low. Most of the base runners for the A's today have been with 2 out. In fact, a 2-out walk for Powell back in the 4th. And he's ahead 3-0.
Well, CJ got in trouble back in the 4th inning with 2 outs. I think sometimes he gets a little too careful. And with the stuff he's got, all he's got to do is throw a sinker low, aim it for the middle of the plate, let it tail away. He's going to get a ground ball. Just like that.
Four hits allowed for CJ, all of them singles so far. He's right back, makes it 3-2. That's pretty staggering. 47 innings now for CJ and only 4 extra base hits allowed.
That's pretty good. His ball has such good movement and he keeps it down so well, gets a lot of ground balls. Just doesn't throw pitches that guys can get extra base hits on. There you go. That's all you have to do. Throw that sinker, let it move, and watch the results.
From 3-0 to a strikeout, and it stays 1-1. Jackpot worth $100 and dinner for 2 at Sonic. Good luck to Joycelyn Owens of Dallas. The Ranger hits the grand slam this inning. We're giving away $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. Well, the Rangers blasted away for 5 home runs yesterday. Got all these kids in the house here today, Tom. Wouldn't they love to see a home run and the fireworks in the air and the announcers going bananas and giving away money?
I'd like to see that too.
Well, you have to promise.
I had a better shot at seeing the announcers go berserk than they would. I'm sitting right next to them.
You got a good seat for that one.
That's
yeah.
Right.
When I lose my mind.
Get warmed up. Maybe it's coming.
All right.
Sheet's been tough to hit a home run on today. He's had good assortment of pitches, good curveballs, good velocity on his fastball, great command of his pitches.
Well, and as you said about Ben Sheets in the scouting report, this is a guy that's allowed the most extra base hits in the major leagues in it today. But
yeah, we're seeing a different version of Ben Sheets today than what the rest of the league has seen this far in the season. Kind of seen what Tampa Bay saw in the last game that he pitched. Good solid game against them.
2-2 the count. And if Elvis gets on, he's going to be looking to run. But he cannot get on. Ben Sheets foils him. Michael Young comes up next. And speaking of screaming children, let's go to Jim Knox.
Yeah, screaming kids. Anybody out here? There we go. We have the Seven Hills Elementary School. This is Principal Espinoza on hand. You had 400 kids out here, and they had to earn their way, right?
They sure did. We challenged them at the beginning of the year to read 1 million words, and all of these students did it. About 70% of our kids met their challenge and all read 1 million words. So we're here to celebrate.
There we go. How many books is that about?
For 5th graders, it's about 25 chapter books.
All right. Good to have you. Doing good up there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, good to have you out here. Thanks.
Welcome to Seven Hills. Thank you, Jim. Starting a little steamy here as the breeze has died down. Michael Young will hit it on the ground to second base. And boy, a very impressive day for Ben Sheets, a one-hitter.
Yeah, the one hit was Elvis's ground ball up the middle on a curveball that stayed up. But really, I don't think the Rangers have hit a ball hard yet today.
Now here's a guy that could change that dynamic. Here's Josh Hamilton. Seven home runs for Josh this year, all of them in the last 3 weeks. I think that patient approach in the first 3 weeks of the season, where there were no home runs, I think the fruits of that started blossoming for Josh in these second 3 weeks. A little impatient right there, though. Got a 2-0 change. And Hamilton out in front. Towards right center, base hit. Only the second allowed by Sheets this afternoon. It brings up Vlad Guerrero, who has a rich history of success against Ben Sheets.
Gives Vlad to hit with a man on rather than leading off an inning, which is a good thing. Got good speed on first base. Pretty good fastball down and away. Nice hitting by Josh. Hit a little bit toward the end of the bat. But Sheets made a good pitch. It's tough for Josh to really drive that pitch, but he's on first with good speed. Ball in the gap can score him now.
The rare hitless afternoon at this ballpark for Vlad Guerrero. He's a career 400 hitter in this facility. Back to his time with the Angels. Vlad, remember, at one point hit safely in 44 straight games against the Rangers. His first 44. And boy, there was confetti in the air that game where the Rangers finally stopped him, that 45th game. Held him to an 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Vladdy personally recruited by Ron Washington this offseason. Wash went out to California, spent 4 hours with Vlad Guerrero. Was talking baseball with an interpreter there. John Daniels in the front office obviously put the full court press on him too, and it's been a kind of an enjoyable thing to watch if you're a Ranger fan. For the same money, essentially, that the Angels are paying Hideki Matsui this year, the Rangers are getting so much more bang out of the buck for Vlad Guerrero, the guy the Angels said goodbye to.
I think the Angels were just worried about Vlad's health. After all he meant to the team, they basically made the choice that they would rather have Matsui than Vlad. And I think they were just worried about his health. The Rangers picked up a bargain, and they got a healthy version, too. Going back, I'm sure the Angels would make a different decision right now.
Big swing and a miss. Vlad Guerrero, another strikeout victim for Ben Sheets. 1-1 as we go to the 7th. And our Cabot Woodstein legendary performance on this date in 1929. First time both teams would show up with numbers on their backs. That's something that the Yankees were the first to do. They numbered their guys by batting order, which is why Babe Ruth wore number 3, batted third. Now if you want to go out and get an Ian Kinsler jersey, you know he's number 5, but it has nothing to do with where you hit in the order anymore. But for today, Ian Kinsler actually would fall right in line. He is the 5th place hitter. Josh Donaldson is not hitting 29th for Oakland. Way back in the 1880s, Tom, the National League came up with the following. They decided every team would be distinguished by wearing different colored socks. And the uniforms would all be exactly the same. But if you played for Detroit, your socks were yellow. If you played for Cleveland, your socks were dark blue or whatever. And that passed for uniforms in 1881.
Let me guess, the White Sox wore white socks?
I think you're probably right.
The Red Sox wore red socks?
It was an interesting landing right there for CJ. Hope he's okay. Two-one on the way to Josh Donaldson. Outside. CJ has not allowed a leadoff man to reach yet today. A lot of 3-ball counts, though, for CJ over the last few innings. He's had to fight back, and he's doing that.
And Donaldson's swung the ball 4 right there.
Doing it in front of a crowd of 27,507 on a Thursday afternoon. Great matinee crowd. Taken tight, and the leadoff walk for the Oakland A's. Donaldson has been on base twice.
Well, it's okay if he hits his way on. He hit a hanging slider for a base hit and an RBI, but you definitely don't want to walk him to start an inning.
Chris Ray will begin to loosen in that Ranger bullpen as CJ's pitch count gets into the mid-90s. Gabe Gross will show bunt, and it's a real good one. C.J. Wilson, whoa, took his time with it, but he's still got Gabe Gross. And the A's get the go-ahead man in the scoring position for the noted Ranger killer, Rajai Davis. Lefties still have only 3 hits all year against C.J. Wilson. Now they've got a sag bunt. Oh, and riding in and on a check swing, no swing. Even though CJ hasn't walked too many Oakland A's, that ratio of balls to strikes not where he wants it this afternoon. A lot closer to 1-to-1 than we're used to. Count actually 1-1 to Davis. Now 2-1. Wilson retired the first 4 that he faced in this game, and better than that, 11 of the first 12. But now 6 of the last 14 have reached against him. Squares the count with Davis, 2-2. Whoa, and a fan makes a tumbling catch over there. Got it on the fly. Gets that honorary contract signed by Nolan Ryan if he wants it.
Might want to maintain his amateur status.
Wilson to the belt. And the 2-2 has popped up. Borbone coming on for it. And Julio's got it. Now CJ's got to get the switch hitting Cliff Pennington.
I think there's a lot of impressive things about the start to the season that CJ's had. One of them has to be that the fewest innings he's pitched has been 6. And if he gets through the 7th inning here, he'll be averaging pretty close to 7 innings per start.
And if it stays under 4 runs for CJ here, it'll be the 7th consecutive quality start to start the year. He'd be the first Ranger to ever do that.
Yep.
And think of all the guys that have come in with so much pomp and circumstance and have actually had great seasons. Whether it be Nolan Ryan or Kevin Brown or whoever you want to talk about, but C.J. Wilson, who was out of the bullpen last year, he would become the first Ranger ever to do that. Hasn't had a single inning today with 20 pitches. Which again was the big concern when everybody looked at whether or not he should make this transition in the first place. The Rangers will lead it off with Kinsler in the bottom of the 7th. Only 2 hits for them today against Ben Sheets. And this after a 17-hit performance yesterday.
A lot fewer good pitches to hit today than the Rangers saw yesterday. The Rangers saw a lot of good counts to hit in, a lot of good pitches to hit, and they teed off. Today, Ben Sheets been a different story. He's shutting down a good hitting lineup, and he'd be shutting down any lineup tonight the way he's throwing. He's that kind of pitcher. He's a top of the rotation guy who, when he is throwing well, locating his pitches, he's going to beat anybody.
Down the right field line. And that ball's trouble. That's foul, though. Barely foul. David Murphy was right there, quick as he could get there. Alfonso Marquez made the call. It's going to be argued. Bob Guerin is on his way out to discuss. Real close to being 2-1 Oakland right there.
Let's take a look.
Whoa, is that close?
It's close, but it's foul.
You can see where the divot is over there. Now Bob Guerin will head on back to his dugout. And CJ now a strike away from finishing off Pennington. Darren Oliver has joined Ray in the Ranger bullpen. This could be it either way for CJ this inning. Balk. They're calling CJ for a balk after all that.
Nope, fortunately it's just going from second to third.
Look at Bob Davidson and Matt Trainer getting at it here. We talked about Bob Davidson early in this series, his old reputation for being the guy most likely to call a balk, and now he has run Matt Trainer. Just didn't want to hear it from Matt Trainer anymore, and look at this battle.
I didn't see what CJ did there. The first one, if it was coming to a complete stop, certainly didn't look like a balk. Not sure what he did right there.
Bob Davidson has been involved in some big-time ejections with the Rangers the last couple of years. John Lackey here when he threw behind Kinsler. Vicente Padilla in Oakland last year, which was essentially the last act for Vicente. Matt Trainer, an unlikely guy to get run. But he is out, and Max Ramirez will have to come in from the bullpen where he was working. He was warming up. Darren Oliver out there.
Yeah, they're going to send someone out there to warm up pitchers.
And CJ has to find a way to stay in control now. There was the argument at first base over the fair versus foul call. And then as CJ was just getting ready to hit the restart button, he's called for a balk here.
I guess he's going to say he started his stretch and stopped.
Here's the ensuing conversation, and you know that
there's no reason to throw a guy out. He didn't even turn around to argue with you. Just let it go. Prove you're in charge. It's one thing if the catcher turns around and starts screaming. No one in the park even knows that he's talking to the umpire.
What you hate about all this is CJ's been standing around for a while. I mean, even before the balk and the ejection, I mean, CJ had no one to warm up with, even if he wanted to warm up. And that sometimes has a dangerous end when a pitcher just has to stand there right in the middle of an inning for several minutes. Now he's got to throw a big pitch here, a 1-2 pitch. Kind of unfair to CJ, all that. So Max Ramirez enters. A runner now at third and 2 out. Pitch counted 106 for CJ Wilson.
Just about at his average. He's averaging about 108 pitches per start.
Some close pitches here, too. And with a runner at third, I mean, here's Max Ramirez. And suddenly he's got to be ready if there's something in the dirt. I mean, the first thing he's got to do is keep this game 1-1 by blocking. ground to short. Big hop for Elvis Andrews, fires, and it's all moot. All that craziness right before the 7th inning stretch. The Rangers still tied up 1-1. The 7th, and Ian Kinsler will be followed by David Murphy. Ben Sheets kind of stealing the show so far. We talked at the top of the broadcast about how close he and Mike Maddox have stayed. Even though both guys have left the Milwaukee Brewers, they stay in near constant contact with each other. Mike Maddox is rooting for Ben Sheets except for today. Michael Wirtz begins to work in that bullpen for the Athletics.
I probably should give the umpire a little more credit. I don't think you should throw a guy out for arguing in a short argument, a catcher, when he doesn't even turn around. On the other hand, it's tough to say what Matt said to him. There are circumstances where you can keep your back to the umpire and say something that warrants getting kicked out. So probably should give the umpire a little more credit for that.
Kinsler draws his second walk of the afternoon, but I agree with you in principle. I mean, there wasn't anybody except Trainer and Davidson who knew what was being talked about. Everybody else here just figured there's a ball game going on.
I don't think anyone else knew the argument was going on, but we'll have to wait and see what Matt said.
Let's see how the Rangers play this with the leadoff man on here. Murphy will take first, and Kinsler has already tried to steal once, and it did not go well. In the 4th inning, he was caught very easily. And Sheets was keeping him real close.
Yeah, I think as tough as base runners have been to get in this game, you stay right on first base right here. Let David shoot for the hole, maybe first and third with a ground ball. Sheets has done a really good job today of holding runners, except for Bourbon. Bourbon got a great jump on Sheets, and since that time, there haven't been many base runners, but when there have been base runners, he's been varying his delivery to the plate, making it tough to get a jump on him.
He also threw one away on one of those pickoff attempts, the only error of the game.
The A's have kept Sheets right around 100 pitches. He threw 103 pitches in his last start. That's the only time he's been over 100 pitches. I'm sure they're being careful with him. Boy, David got a little too anxious right there. That's ball 3 if he takes it.
Murphy in a left center field. Rajay Davis can't get there in time. Kinsler wheeling towards third. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
The base running right there. Ian realized as deep as Davis was when he fielded that line drive, there's no way he could throw him out at third base, even though the play was right in front of him. Good job by David. Got a fastball right down the middle and drove it into the gap. And Ian running all the way. Takes third base, first and third, and nobody out.
Bob Guerin is on his way out, and Ben Sheets, give him all kinds of credit. He had a one-hitter through 5 2/3. But now 3 of the last 4 Rangers have reached. And showing the Rangers what they knew. I mean, this is a guy that's got a great arm, had a great career in Milwaukee. The Rangers were very interested in his services if he had been healthy, but he wasn't. Had to sit out a year. And he ends up with the Oakland A's pitching a beautiful ball game, but now it's done. Michael Wirtz is coming in to relieve him, and the Rangers looking to take the lead when we come back to the ballpark. It's 1-1 right now in the bottom of the 7th.
The game, we have Castleberry High School, and this is Coach Castleberry on hand because he did the signs, nice signs. That's right, Hammer's homies there, and also the students are also painted up. Here's the tote bag, here's the hat, here's the shirt. Congratulations, Coach, good job, good job, way to go, guys.
Hammy's homies, very nice. Thank you, Jim. Here's Michael Wirtz into the ball game, and he inherits a mess. First and third. And nobody out. The Rangers trying to break a 1-1 tie. Their series also tied 1-1. Justin Smoke, the batter. Line shot foul into the crowd. The Verizon Wireless called to the bullpen after Ben Sheets made it through 99 pitches. Wirtz, who missed the first 4 weeks, now healthy again. Had a great year last year. Big-time strikeout pitcher for them. Former Chicago Cub. They got a lot of former Cubs on this Oakland team. But the former Milwaukee Brewer was center stage this afternoon. Ben Sheets, a one-hitter through 5 2/3. Interestingly, after Smoke, it's going to be Max Ramirez, who, of course, has not batted yet. He's only in the game because Matt Traynor got ejected.
They got to bear down right here, put the ball in play. Infield's playing back. Pretty much the only way you're not going to get the run in is if you pop up, hit back to the pitcher, or strike out. Oh, boy.
Smoke in the 7th inning yesterday turned on one and hit one out for his 4th Major League home run. In the air towards the crowd.
Wirtz has a good slider. Fastball is upper 80s, but his sliders is out pitch. He can get a lot of strikeouts with that out pitch. Last year he struck out more than a batter per inning. Like having a second closer out there with Andrew Bailey. And Brad Ziegler, who's been a closer before, too. 3 good right-handers for late in the ball game.
Back to the screen, and a crazy hop. Kinsler cannot score. Although, upon further review, he sure could have, but you never did know where that ball was going to end up. Down to second goes Murphy on a wild pitch.
He did the right thing. The way that ball bounced, you got to make your mind up before you see what happens. And when that ball caromed off the cement and came back toward the catcher, you have to stop. You can't go anticipating that it's going to be a tough ball to catch. That comes back, the catcher gets it, throws to the pitcher, and you're out at the plate. There goes your rally. Have to play it conservatively there.
3-2 to Justin Smoke. And he went. With a big pitch from Michael Wirtz. Again, last year, strikeouts, definitely the best thing he got done. Take you back to that wild pitch.
First, Ian didn't know it was going to get by the catcher. Then he couldn't anticipate it was going to get by the pitcher either. He did the right thing. And Wirtz, knowing first base was open, he had an open base. Wasn't going to give Smoke a good pitch to hit, and he got a patient hitter to chase a pitch out of the strike zone.
Now we'll see if Max Ramirez can come up with a fly ball of any depth. The infield in halfway for the A's. And Donaldson has to knock down another one. Because that slider moves so much, you do get the occasional wild pitch from Wirtz. He had 6 of them last year. Grounded. And coming home with it, Kinsler's out. Well, the infield in halfway, in just enough to make that play on Kinsler.
The only problem on that play is David didn't go to third base. Usually that's a contact play, and both runners are going. When the runner at third is going, the guy at second's got to go to third base.
Well, he was close to getting in there, too. Donaldson didn't exactly seal off the plate. Look at that. He stepped right away from the plate, and Kinsler had a free ride home. And that was a real close call.
It looked like he might have just about got his foot in there.
Donaldson took his foot off there like it was a force. Bourbon will try to save the inning. The Rangers had second and third, and nobody out. Check this out.
I think he's safe.
I think he is too.
Can't really tell where the glove, when the glove tagged the other leg, or whether the front leg got in there early.
They're easy on the ankles there too, Kins. He's already missed 4 weeks of the regular season with a twisted ankle. Rip and a miss by Bourbon. The Rangers have had very few scoring chances today. This obviously is their best one, or was their best one. Second and third and nobody out. Now it is first and second and 2 out. Bourbon rolls it to first. Boy, that one hits you right in the side of the head. The Oakland A's have found a way to keep this game tied 1-1. Your baseball on Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you by the Ford F-150. Ford is the best in Texas, and by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. What a shame for C.J. Wilson that he is not the pitcher of record today. The Rangers were poised to take the lead right before C.J. was going to come out. But despite having second and third and nobody out in the seventh inning, the Rangers could not score. So now Chris Ray will be the pitcher of record as the bullpen will get the job here.
Yeah, and who knows how the ejection played into that. I have no problem seeing Max Ramirez up there. He swings the bat, could easily have driven in the run. But maybe it's a little different with trainer hitting. Not that one is better than the other, but it would have been different. The way Max swung the bat last night, you like seeing him up in that situation.
Well, C.J. Wilson does become the first ever Ranger to open a season with 7 straight quality starts. His final line today, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and that ERA goes down a tick to 1.48. What a run for C.J. Wilson. Now Ray to Rosales. The guy on deck is the guy you worry about. Derek Barton has had a very strong series. And in fact has a home run against Chris Ray in this series. That was in the 11th inning the other night. Well, speaking of home runs, Tom, C.J. Wilson again keeps the ball in the yard. Didn't give up a single extra base hit.
Well, only gave up 4 hits in 7 innings. Going to win a lot of games with 1 run, 4 hits in 7 innings. It's not today.
This is a ballpark where you're not supposed to be able to keep the ball from getting out. I mean, the jet stream and all that, but you got to go back to August of 2008 to find the last time C.J. allowed a home run here. He's now got a stretch of 69 1/3 innings here in this ballpark without allowing a home run. And that is a record in this ballpark. Brian Schaus had the old record. When you're talking home or road, the consecutive inning streak now for C.J. keeping the ball in the yard is a staggering 85 innings. Rosales, who walked in the 5th, keeps the count 3-2. Nice catch down there. And a nice crowd today. 27,500 plus. Got him. Dialed it down, and down he goes.
Mostly sliders. Threw one fastball way out of the strike zone, then 3-2. Threw him a couple of sliders and got Rosales to chase.
Now the lefty swinging first baseman, Derek Barton, who has hit very well against the Rangers this year. And again, had that home run just the other night against Chris Wright. The Rangers will have the top of the order up in the bottom of the 8th. That means Elvis Andrus to go first, and Elvis with a 13-game hitting streak. Hit well again by Barton off a race.
Came in with a fastball. Barton was right on. I don't think he hit it on the good part of the bat, but that's very similar pitch, very similar swing to the home run he hit the other night.
Check your Jexa Energy strike zone.
Yep, that's right down the middle of the plate, but he missed that one.
Now the Kevin Kuzmanoff. 3 solid years in San Diego, having been flipped there from the Cleveland organization. You look at Darren Oliver in the Ranger pen. Into left field by a diving Michael Young. And Kuzmanoff thinking double. Jams on the brakes. Good idea. Hamilton a few times today. He's just zipped that ball back in.
Well, there aren't many left-handed throwing left fielders who can go to the line quicker and throw more accurately and with such arm strength as Josh does.
Josh worked on exactly this during the offseason, knowing he was going to be playing left field. This move right there, that little spin that he's got to do, because you're right, he's the lefty thrower. The former Cub, Jake Fox. 2 hits today for the A's, 2 of their 5. Only 8 hits in this game total, and every one of them has been a single. Young guards the line at third. As Fox tips one foul with Powell on deck. From 10-1 last night to 1-1 today. The A's continue to show that they're not the last place ball club everybody said they were going to be. Surviving some injuries to keep positions. That ball rammed into left field by Jake Fox. Hamilton's got to play it off the wall. Takes a big hop. And Josh again is able to get there quickly enough to make sure the A's don't advance.
Yeah,
it's the first
close.
extra base hit of the day. A 3-hit day for Fox. And yeah, it looked like Mike Gallego had thoughts about trying to break that tie right there, but at the last moment, he threw up the stop sign.
I was glad to see him put up the stop sign. Turned out he probably would have been out because the relay throw home was a strong one. But at the time, Josh has to kind of lunge to catch the ball, and he's going to throw the ball on the run to get rid of it quickly without much on it, for him anyway. But Elvis turns and throws a strike to the plate, and when you look at the relay throws, how accurate they were, Gallego probably made a good call.
Darren Oliver's ready in the bullpen. You got Powell up there as a switch hitter. I'll turn him around to bat right-handed. As Wash is going to make this move. Here's the stop sign coming. And it stays 1-1 for now. We'll see if Darren Oliver can keep it that way when we come back. Rangers and the A's on Fox Sports Southwest. Extraordinary performance this afternoon. C.J. Wilson deserved to be a winning pitcher today, as well as he did pitch. Scattering 4 singles, striking out 5, lowering his ERA from 1.5 into the 1.4s. But this game is tied 1-1, and the A's are threatening now. Second and third, 2 men out. Top of inning 8, and Landon Powell will get his opportunity. The guy that grew up just a few miles down the road from Josh Hamilton in North Carolina. He's going to step in there against the veteran Darren Oliver.
Well, Michael Works pitched out of a second and third no-out jam. Darren's going to pitch out of one right here. Only this one's a 2-out jam. All you have to do is get one hitter, but big part of the game, obviously. The A's have been tough against the Rangers when the games get like this, close ball games late in the game. They've played some good baseball.
Darren, remember, now working with Max Ramirez instead of Matt Trainer. Trainer ejected from the game. And some pressure on Maximiliano Ramirez right now. Keep that go-ahead man at third. Brad Ziegler in the Oakland pen. Powell checks his swing. And for a guy who had been 2 for 28 lifetime against the Rangers, these last 2 games, Landon Powell's been a real tough out. 2 hits yesterday. And a walk this afternoon. They'll foul it back into the crowd. One-hand catch by a fan, too. And it's now 1-2. A couple times now, Oliver and Max Ramirez needing to regroup. Here is the 1-2. Called. Strike 3 to Landon Powell. Bob Davidson has had to explain his strike zone a few times This game stays even, Steven. 1-1, bottom of the 8th coming up. Call and a big play. Ian Kinsler, did he get in? As Josh Donaldson pulled away from the plate.
Yeah, that was not a very good job by the catcher, who should be doing everything he can to keep the runner from even getting to home plate. He actually gave Ian a little bit of shot to catch the outside part of the plate.
New pitcher to tell you about for the Oakland A's. That is Jerry Blevins, getting into his 15th game already. The Rangers have the top of the order coming up. This would set up very well if the Rangers can find a way to scratch out a run against Blevins and company. And then turn it over to the guy who's become the closer, young Neftali Feliz. Third Oakland pitcher of the day. Ben Sheets was terrific. And Michael Wirtz had to work the tightrope. Did it beautifully.
That was some nice pitching by Wirtz. Came in, just didn't give in. Didn't make a pitch that you could get a good swing at. Got the Rangers to chase a couple of pitches. A couple of weak ground balls and a big strikeout. Can't do the job much better than that in that situation.
Elvis takes off speed, 1-2. Rangers get on the plane and go to Toronto when this game is over. 3-game series against the Jays. And the Rangers right back to play the Angels. First time all year we will see the Angels. Monday night, Tuesday night, and then the Orioles are in for only 2, Wednesday and Thursday. And the Cubs. So far, the Rangers have done exactly what you were hoping they could do. They're in a stretch where they play 14 out of 17 at home. And they are 5-1 to this point. Slowly up near third. That just might work. Elvis Andrus is safe. Nine infield hits, including 4 bunts for Elvis. That's his second hit of the afternoon.
It worked just like a bunt. No play for Kuzminoff. Michael Young with a hole to shoot at between first and second. Oakland very aware that Elvis likes to run.
Yep, 14 steals already for Andrews. Michael Young with a chance to deliver, and he's 0 for 3 after a 3-hit night last night. And Josh Hamilton after Michael. I think very typical of a Michael Young season, the distribution of hits. Out of 40 hits, he has pulled only 7 of them. We've seen 9 years of that. Michael has the second most hits in the history of this franchise, more than 1,700 of them.
Well, here's a 2-0 count, and if you're Blevins, you need to throw a strike. Could be a spot for maybe a hit and run, anticipating a good pitch to hit. And Michael, with the ability to go to right field, might just be able to find that hole, make it a first and third situation.
Driving it to left center field, and caught by Fox on the run.
Fox, playing way over toward left center field, was able to make the catch on a hard hit ball. Michael jumped on that 2-0 pitch, got a fastball to hit, and just drilled it. Unfortunately, right to the left fielder.
Boy, looked good jumping off the bat.
Fox almost overran it.
Hamilton, a big swing. Well, Josh has been pretty good at 8th inning home runs on this homestand. In fact, he and Vlad Guerrero have gone back-to-back memorably in the 8th inning. A 13-12 game against Kansas City. There was a go-ahead run for Josh, or home run for Josh in the 8th inning in the opener of this series. He buried one in the Ranger bullpen. Lefty to lefty. And Hamilton down 0-2. Brad Ziegler's been warming in the bullpen for Oakland. They might turn to him to face Vlad Guerrero. The Rangers' run was back in the 3rd inning. A 2-out base knock into center by Elvis Andrews. And the A's came back with a Josh Donaldson base hit to left. 2-out base hit for Oakland, tied it up 1-1. And here we stay, 1-1, bottom 8. Hamilton down on strikes.
He threw high fastballs and then a hard slider on the outside corner. Tough pitches for a left-hand hitter. Lefty's not going to face Vlad, though.
Nope, this would be a job for Brad Ziegler. Check out the strikeout pitch by Blevins. And we'll get you warmed up for the Vlad Guerrero at bat. Vlad will have a chance to break the tie as Bob Guerin makes that change. Back to the ballpark in Arlington in just a moment. tied 1-1 as well. Folks, you can reserve the very best seat locations for 61 more games at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. First game of that prorated plan is when the Rangers come back to town Monday the 17th against the Angels. Call right now for information, 972 Rangers. We'd love to have you here. Shaping up to be an exciting season. The Rangers right now at 19-15 in first place. Will they have a 2-game lead or will they be tied for first place? That kind of hangs in the balance this afternoon. The A's are a game out and tied 1-1 with the home team today. Brad Ziegler comes in. Has walked 8 already in 15-plus innings, but has struck out 11. He's got to face Vlad Guerrero. No sign of Elvis Andrus being on the run at all since he got on with that leadoff hit.
Ziegler's a little easier to run on than Sheets was. And of course, the lefty's pretty tough. Takes a little bit of time to get into that sidearm delivery, but he's got a quick move to first base. That's how he counteracts it to keep you close.
Vlad spins one towards second base, and another leadoff base runner for the Rangers just kind of dying on the vine. It stays 1-1 as we go to the 9th. To join us Wednesday. The Rangers take on the Orioles. It's $1 hot dog night. Also a Dr. Pepper autograph Wednesday. Ranger players and coaches will be signing autographs out in the concourse from 5:30 to 6. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972 Rangers. $84 degrees and a little bit humid today. Neftali Feliz is summoned. The Rangers were hoping to get him in the game with a 2-1 lead to protect, but didn't quite work out that way. It's still 1-1.
Well, Ron Washington's going to use Feliz here in the 9th. Hope the Rangers can score in the bottom of the 9th and get him a win instead of a save. Darren Oliver came in, did a great job. Second and third, got the strikeout. I think Ron's just guessing with him, a little reluctant to use Darren too much. He's pitching frequently, and he's 39 years old. You have to save him for September too. He can't pitch every other day unless it's short stints. I think that's what Ron tries to do with the bullpen, is he uses them frequently, but very seldom will they go back out and pitch a second inning. He gets them out and tries to keep it down around 13 or 14 pitches, knowing that it's that much easier to bring them back the next day.
Fires it right by a swinging Josh Donaldson. Donaldson had the RBI hit off C.J. Wilson back in the 4th. The A's, one of a couple of real surprise teams that you can talk about in baseball right now. Teams that were picked to finish last in the West, both in the AL and NL. San Diego is 21-12. Really? They are. And the A's 18-16, one game out in the AL West. Feliz makes short work of Donaldson. One down, 9th inning. We say hello to Dana Larson.
Hey, to you, Josh and Tom, coming up after the game. Boy, there have been a number of interesting moments in this game, and I am anxious to hear from the key figures involved. That is exactly what we have for you coming up in the post-game show. Also, Jim Sundberg, Mark McLemore will answer your text questions, and still plenty of time to send them our way. Just text the question to 57538, keyword Rangers TV. We will see you guys in just a few minutes right after the game.
Thank you, Dana. Gabe Gross will step in and take up an end. The Rangers and A's have already played extra innings once in this 3-game series. In fact, a bunch of extra innings. They went 13. Hoping to avoid that today, the Rangers will have their shot in the bottom of the 9th. Eric Patterson has stepped on deck for Rajai Davis. Patterson has been a very tough out in this series.
Patterson's been tough out against the Rangers in all 6 games we've played them. Had a big hit in the opening game of the series, that line drive that snuck over David Murphy's head.
A check swing by Gross. And the A's, a team that Feliz debuted against last season, a very memorable Major League debut. He struck out the first 4 batters that he faced. Didn't get the call from Mr. Davidson. Instead of 2-2, it's 3-1.
That been a little inside. Yeah, actually could have been a strike. Close pitch.
Right behind Gross. And again with Feliz, it's that big time velocity with minimum effort. Throwing free and easy, but at 95 plus. He got him. The last 3 Oakland A's have struck out going back to last inning.
In Neffy's last start, he gave up a hit on a changeup, a high changeup, and a hanging breaking ball. Today it's been all heat. No off-speed pitches and good results.
Indeed, it is Eric Patterson now. He was hit by a pitch. Or check that. No, that was Fox who was hit by the pitch when Neffy pitched on Tuesday night. Fox was pinch hitting for Patterson. Now, as we mentioned, that game ended up going 13 before the A's prevailed 7-6. High fly ball way up there. Andrews is back, hunting for it, and he's got it. Neftali Feliz, a 1-2-3 top of the 9th. Kinsler comes in to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning. All brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. By Progressive for a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by the Ford F-150. Check out the 2010 F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Brad Ziegler is still on the mound, and Ian Kinsler has drawn walks in his last 2 trips to the plate. Tied at 1 in the bottom of the 9th. We mentioned when Ziegler came in the game, his walk totals have been high early here in 2010. Kinsler just kind of punching one right to the shortstop on 2-0. David Murphy can be the walk-off hero now. The Rangers still looking for their first extra base hit of the game. This game was started by Ben Sheets, who had allowed the most extra base hits in all of baseball coming in.
Yeah, he didn't allow those extra base hits pitching like he did today, though. He pitches like he did today for the rest of the year. He's going to win a lot of games for the A's.
Little return on their investment today for the Oakland A's. David Murphy, base hit, center field. He is on. And it brings up Justin Smoak. 3 times that Murphy's been on today.
And Rosales shading him to pull a little bit. Moved over slightly toward first base. Opens up the center of the diamond. And allows this ball hit to the right side of second base to go up the middle easily. A good matchup for Justin here, facing a side-arming right-hander. Michael Wirtz had a good at-bat against Smoak. Struck him out with men on second and third. Got him to chase a pitch out of the strike zone, 3-2 with first base open. Justin generally a very patient hitter. And some kind of relief job by Wirtz, though. Second and third. Actually, it's first and third when he came in. Wild pitched it to second and third and then pitched out of the jam.
Rangers will try to roll that number to 8.
He played a lot of close games, and here's another one. A lot of close games against the A's.
Yeah, that's why yesterday's just seemed so out of place. The Rangers pulling away, clobbering the A's 10-1. Most of the games, you're right, going back to last year, have been just like this. Smoak, base hit, right field, and it's slow enough that Murphy's thinking third. There he goes. The throw is going to be not in time.
That's good base running right there. Gross throws well out in right field. It was an average hit ball. The easy thing to do is say, oh, I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to stay at second base. David never hesitated. Forced Gross to throw him out. The throw is a little offline, and now it's first and third. Winning run at third. Good base running. Never hesitated.
Gabe Gross's throw not even close to being there in time. Bob Guerin is coming out, and they'll discuss what they want to do here. Max Ramirez will be the batter. And remember, he's only in the game because Matt Traynor got ejected. The Rangers will pinch run at first for Justin Smoak. They're going to get Gentry into the game. And that gives you pause as well. Gentry already a couple times against the A's late in games. Games just like this has been on the move.
Well, the only run that matters is the one at first base. In Gentry's case, he might get down to second base a little quicker to break up a double play. And Ramirez, for the second time, he came into the game because of the ejection. Second time will have a chance with a man on third base and less than 2 outs.
Sure, the A's discussing where they want to play the infield.
Probably, and you know how they're going to pitch to Ramirez, who the next hitter is, how they want to do it. All forms of strategy that come into play right here.
The infield is in a little more than halfway. And that hurt Max Ramirez in that at bat in the 7th as he rolled to short and they cut down Kinsler.
Well, Max is swinging the bat well right now. He had a big game last night. Don't mind seeing him up in this situation.
He will take. You got Bourbon on deck. Rangers trying to make it a 6-1 homestand and get a 2-game lead in the AL West.
Got the infield in, got the outfield in.
The fake to third, the fake to first, and there is no walk-off balk. At least not yet. Taking, and it's 3-0.
Let him swing right here. Really good pitch. Drive it.
Swinging 3-0, you're right. Pennington coming home again. Out again, as again, there was an easy entryway in there. His catcher, Donaldson, just keeps getting out of the way. But once again, the Rangers have Max Ramirez up with a chance to get that one home. And once again, he grounds to Pennington.
Yeah, I don't mind Max swinging right there. You get a good pitch to drive it. You just got to go back through the middle. Don't try to pull it. And Pennington, the exact same play, the same hitter, the same ball, threw it the same way.
Now it's up to Bourbon. First and second and 2 out. Boy, the Rangers can get better gift-wrapped opportunities here. With runners at third and either no out or 1 out. But 2 straight times, Max Ramirez grounds into the 6-2 to keep this game 1-1. Bourbon with a ground ball. And we are going extra innings at the ballpark. The Rangers had a wonderful chance to win it. Ramirez swinging away 3-0. And it didn't work out. Extra innings presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. If the Rangers can't figure out a way to victory today, this has all the makings of a very long plane ride to Toronto. There have been a lot of chances for the Rangers to win this thing. There have been some plays at the plate. And the Rangers have been tagged out both times.
Yeah, and 2 nice plays. Pennington charging the ball on the run, making the throw. Same thing 2 times, gets the runner at the plate both times. Ramirez with kind of 2 tappers to the same part of the field. Had a chance to drive in that second run twice.
Rangers having pinch run for Justin Smoke. That's why Ryan Garco's in the game at first. Neftali Feliz gets to pitch for a second inning. It was a breeze when he pitched the ninth. Striking out a couple, needing only 12 pitches. And now Pennington is going to loft one towards left for Hamilton. And Josh has got it. The Rangers will have the top of the order up in the bottom of the 10th. But this one stings a little bit, just that it is indeed in extra innings. The Rangers with the leadoff man on in the 8th, first and third, and one out in the 9th. Second and third, and nobody out back in the 7th.
And generally, Ron wouldn't go with Feliz for 2 innings, but he had a good first inning, about, I think it was 13 pitches, so he felt like it wouldn't be that much of a stretch to let him go back out there for the second inning.
Rosales, who walked back in the 5th. Up in the count here, 2-0. A rare 3-0 count. Last year when Neffy first came up at the tender age of 21, the first 40 batters that he faced in the big leagues, there was only one 3-0 count. Carlos Gomez, who ended up striking out. That is ball 4, and the A's get the go-ahead man on. Mike Maddox out to talk to Feliz, with Derek Barton coming up. Mike Maddox's star student back in Milwaukee was shining bright this afternoon. Ben Sheets, 6+ innings of work, and keeping the Rangers down to 1 run. And for Texas, C.J. Wilson did him 1 inning better. C.J. went 7 complete. And just the 1 run allowed on a flurry of activity with 2 outs in the 4th. Infield, a double play depth as Barton will take up and outside. 5 in a row out of the zone from Neftali Feliz. Rangers had that stretch during the game yesterday, Tom, where they had the 5 home runs in a stretch of 12 batters. And all day today, not even a double. Through 9 innings.
Different pitchers, different pitches to hit.
There's a strike from Feliz. Neftali came to the big leagues, as we mentioned, at age 21. He struck out 16 of the first 26 batters he faced.
Well, last night, late in the game, the Rangers faced the 3 pitchers that they didn't face in the extra inning games the first night. And it's pretty obvious that those 3 pitchers aren't the guys that the A's want to have in there in an extra inning game.
The A's still have Andrew Bailey to deploy. He's starting to get loose out there for the Athletics. Last year, Neftali Feliz, a 1.74 ERA, and of all the major league pitchers with at least 30 innings, only 4 had a lower ERA than Neftali. Rip and a miss, 2-2. That's the guy that usually has a real good idea of what is or is not a strike.
Yeah, you won't see him swing at that pitch very often. One well out of the strike zone. So Neffy gets a little bit of a break. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2. outfield, playing deep right now. Tried to avoid a double, which would score Rosales from first base in all probability.
Feliz, who was hit around a little bit on Tuesday, bouncing back here on the Thursday afternoon. Trying to keep this game tied 1-1. Haven't seen 99s and 100s from Neftali quite yet. But as you said last inning, Tom, looks like he is committed to the fastball. He came out the other day and was throwing a lot of off-speed stuff.
Yeah, he's throwing mostly fastballs. That's his best pitch.
Little check swing roller, and Garco will go to second base, and they get the out there.
Well, he took something off that. That was an 87-mile-an-hour pitch, and it was a very effective pitch. It got Barton out in front of it. Pretty hard not to be out in front of that pitch after you've seen mid-90s pitches. This is his changeup, and he hit it right off the end of the bat. It's a good pitch.
Kevin Kuzminoff, the cleanup man, is going to be the batter. Ron Washington is going to take that ball from Neftali Feliz at the 24-pitch mark. I guess he wants to keep Neffy fresh to save games in Toronto.
That's strictly a pitch count deal right there, I would guess.
It's up to Frankie Francisco to keep it 1-1. We're back in just a moment. And the Tampa Bay Rays will get together, or you might see the Astros and the Giants, or Ryan Howard and the NL East leading Phillies taking on the Brewers. Coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser starts at 3 o'clock Central Time this Saturday. Neftali Feliz was able to get 5 outs today, allowed 1 base runner, and now Frankie Francisco, who's been hoarding decisions this year. The Rangers are 19-15. Frankie Francisco is 4-3. Slowly but surely, that ERA is coming down. It started out in the 20s. It is now 6.75, and it's got to take on the hot-hitting Kevin Kuzminoff, who's 2 out of 4 today. Michael Young guarding that line at third. Just about a half a foot from it. When the A's scored their run back in the 4th, it was an uprising after 2 out and nobody on. 4 straight base runners. The Rangers have had a pile of base runners the last few innings, but have not been able to score. Frankie delivers, strike 2. A lot of the crowd still here. Started out at 27,507 today. And they came in knowing the Rangers could not fall out of first place no matter what happened today, but they could fall into a first place tie. Rangers have a 3-game road trip coming up, and they're right back home. They'll take on 3 different teams in 7 days, and hoping to do that still as a first-place ball club. Got him! Frankie Francisco with a strikeout.
Good location with the fastballs, too. He kept it away from him, kept it away from the middle of the plate. Rangers got to have a chance to win it now.
Bottom of the 9th have just as good a shot in the bottom of the 10th with the top of the order coming up. Problem is Brad Ziegler can be real tough. We knew that when he came up as a rookie. And was doing all kinds of crazy things. He set a major league record, unscored on in his first 39 big league innings. That sidearm delivery just proved so effective. When he had come up that year, his AAA numbers were almost as good. In fact, the first 5 months of 2008, this guy, if you combine AAA with big leagues, Tommy, had allowed 1 earned run in 63 innings.
Wow.
High school kids that are dominating and about to be a #1 overall pick don't do that. Elvis smashing one into left, a base hit.
Oh, instead of a sinker, he hung him a breaking ball. Just hung up out over the plate, and Elvis just stroked it in there for a base hit. Here we go again.
Elvis, who was 6 for 38 last year against Oakland, now has 6 hits against the A's just in this 3-game series.
Try to throw it down and away. You can see what happens when a pitcher misses the target that he's trying to throw to. He wanted it down and away. Might have been successful if he got it there, but he hung it in the inner half of the plate. Now you've got a good runner on first base with good hitters coming up. Outfield deep.
You know, Michael delivers a walk-off hit right here. We can say that the Rangers will be 2-0 the last 2 days with 1 hit with a runner in scoring position. They didn't have a single one of those yesterday and still scored 10 runs.
5 home runs will help that cause.
Outside.
Today, just been good pitching by the A's, especially when they've been in trouble late in the game. Sheets was tough and the relievers have been tough. Rangers have had their chances.
Little walking lead for Elvis as Michael takes outside again. He's just not taking the bait. Josh Hamilton on deck. And Craig Breslow preparing to face Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, if you bring in Breslow, then you've got a lefty to face Guerrero. I'm not sure if they've got a right-hander warming up as well.
Michael takes ball 4, and this has got to be the chance that the Rangers cash in on. You've got 2 on, nobody out. Hamilton, Guerrero, and Kinsler coming up.
We've got to bring in the lefty to face Josh. Josh hit that 430-foot home run off Ziegler in the opening game of the series, and that's exactly what the A's are going to do.
Hamilton has a sac fly and a walk against Craig Breslow. And he will have his shot to win the game when we come back. Tied at 1, bottom 10 in Arlington. Deliver of late. He's had a big homestand, some big late inning hits. And now with 2 men on and nobody out. In the bottom of the 10th inning, Craig Breslow will try to keep Josh Hamilton from being the hero. The veteran out of Yale. And Breslow's been a nice pickup for the Oakland A's going back to last year. A guy with a real good slider. He's a great story. Just a few years ago, pitching in the independent leagues for the New Jersey Jackals. Got his biochemistry degree from Yale. He's pitching for the New Jersey Jackals, but never gave up on his dream. Here he is facing Josh Hamilton with the game on the line. Nobody in the Oakland bullpen. Vlad Guerrero would have his shot next against a lefty. Hamilton 1 out of 4 today. Has hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games. And again, the Rangers struggling with runners in scoring position. The only hit with a runner in scoring position today gave them their only run. Hamilton watches it go by.
Good ball to take. It's close to being a strike, but very tough pitch to hit. Good eye right there. Near the strike zone. Tough pitch for an umpire. It's so close. Seen it called a strike today. We've seen it called a ball. That's not unusual. Out of the ordinary. That's the way it is.
Breslow brings it. Hamilton loops it to left field. And Fox has got it. Well, he at least wanted the men to advance. Vlad Guerrero now.
Well, they're kind of locked in right now. the only other righty other than, I have to think that Ross is unavailable based on throwing 40 pitches the first game. The only other 3 guys other than the closer Bailey are the 3 guys that struggled in last night's game. And so now Bob Guerin is kind of locked into the lefty facing Guerrero, which is not a matchup he relishes, I don't think.
Vladdy is due. He has not even gotten the ball out of the infield yet today. A career 400 hitter in this ballpark. And he can be the hero now. Taken outside. You got a real fast runner as your lead man. Elvis Andrus at second. Vladdy couldn't help himself.
Well, even though it's first and second, you certainly don't want to walk Guerrero to make it a 1-out situation for Ian. At the same time, you don't want to throw him a good pitch to hit either. The pitcher's in a tough spot. You want to try to get him to chase something out of the strike zone without giving him something good that he can handle. And it's just a matter of whether Vladimir can get the bat on a pitch out of the strike zone and put it in play for a hit.
Down and in, 2-2 with Kinsler waiting on deck. Good lead off a second for Elvis Andrus, and Vlad will sock it foul. Once again, the Oakland bullpen has been fantastic. Breslow on 2-2, and another foul ball by Guerrero into the crowd.
A couple of effective fastballs right there by Breslow. Vladdy's got to be aware of the breaking ball out of the strike zone. He busted him up and in with a couple of fastballs. Got him tied up, but he fouled him off, spoiled the pitches. Vladdy's battling off the tough pitches, hoping he gets a good one that he can drive right here. Breslow's going to be going out of his way not to throw him a good pitch to hit.
Yet again, back into the crowd.
That's when Vladdy will hit most of the time. He's shaking his head. He's had some tough pitches to hit. The last one looked like a pretty good breaking ball to hit. And it was right down the middle of the plate. Most of the time you won't get away with that one.
There's quite a little battle going right here.
Yeah, Breslow's not giving in either. Got away with a breaking ball. Came right back at him with a good fastball. Tied him up. Vladdy fought it off.
Leadoff single for Andrus. Michael Young very patiently took a walk. We're really hoping that Josh Hamilton can find a way to move those runners. Now you're looking for some liftoff from Guerrero, who so far is 0 for 4. Ninth pitch of the at-bat. Ooh, a little bit snug. 3-2.
It's a good situation if Vladdy can work a walk, because now you've got Ian up with only one out and a man on third base. That ball was low. Breslow's pitching him tough, boy.
A drive to right center field. That ball taking off at the track. Caught by Patterson.
Boy, there's, I'd say 75% of the time in this ballpark, that's a home run, but not today. The ball just wasn't carrying. He hit that ball right on the screws, it looked like.
And Andrews was halfway between second and third, had to zip back and tag, and then did get to third. It'll be runners at the corners now for Kinsler.
He hit it good. It didn't carry like it was carrying the other night. Wind conditions are a little bit different. Patterson had time to run it down. That was a great battle between Breslow and Vladdy, though.
And it looked like Vladdy won out, but
it sure did. I give Breslow some credit. He threw him everything he had, and he ended up, the bottom line was he got him out. And you got another tough hitter right here, though.
Well, Kinsler is going to be put on. They want the lefty versus lefty matchup. Breslow against Murphy. So Ian will absorb his third walk of this ball game. Breslow is about 40 points better on the batting average when facing lefties as opposed to righties. And Murphy has yet to have a hit against him. So I guess you can say this is a percentage move, but you do put the pressure on Breslow to throw strikes to Murphy. If he walks Murphy, the game's over.
Yeah, and I certainly can't fault the strategy. I think if I were Bob Guerin, I'd consider the same thing. You've got a right-hand hitter hitting 340 at the plate, and you've got a left-hand hitter coming up. And in the big leagues, you've got one of your late inning relievers. You can't even think that there's a possibility he's going to walk somebody. You're just saying, hey, my lefty's going to get your lefty out. Go get him.
Pressure on the catcher now, too. Young Mr. Donaldson. If there's a ball in the dirt, he's got to stop it. That one was right down the pipe. Strike one. The Rangers have to fly to Toronto when this one is over. And a chance to do that in a very happy mood if David Murphy delivers right now. Two and one the count. Got a very patient hitter up there. Called to strike 2-2. Andrews walks off the bag at third. And here's Breslow to Murphy. Poked into the crowd. Frankie Francisco got the final out of the top of the 10th, and if the Rangers win it, he would become the Rangers' first 5-game winner. C.J. Wilson pitched beautifully today for 7 innings. Murphy lofting it. The fans want it in the crowd, and they've got it. About 7 rows back. Another good fight by a Ranger hitter for Ron Washington. Of course, Wash, all those years with the A's, some tense games as a coach. Now managing against the Oakland team. And it's tense again.
It's the third game on this homestand that's been just like this. Close games late in the game.
Murphy fouls it right back this way.
Had the cliffhanger against Kansas City, the cliffhanger of the first game of this series, and now another one right here.
Another cliff-hanging at bat, too. An 8th pitch of this at bat coming to David Murphy. It was a 9-pitch at bat with Guerrero. Murphy rolls it to short. Pennington's got it. The flip to second, and we're going to the 11th. 2 on, nobody out, and the 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. But the Rangers couldn't score. Jerky, Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. This game's been wild in a way. Not as many fireworks, not as many runs scored as some of the others on this homestand, but just in terms of chances gone awry and how they have gone awry. And the use of the word awry over and over. We've had all that in this one. 1 run both ways. We're in the 11th inning. And the Rangers have stranded 11. They've also had 2 runners cut down at home plate. Both times with the infield in, and Max Ramirez hitting the ball right to the shortstop, Cliff Pennington, who came home confidently both times.
Yeah, a good chance for Max in both those situations to get the second run in. Fly ball would do it. Pennington made 2 nice plays on the run with good accurate throws to the plate. Turned out to be 2 easy outs at the plate. The Rangers have had 3 good chances late in the game to get that winning run in and haven't been able to do it.
Well, if I wanted to catch a foul ball, I would hurry to the ballpark right now, get a seat somewhere high up behind first base, and just hang out with my glove. Last couple innings, we've just seen that worn out. You know, you go back to the bottom of the 10th. Vlad Guerrero, after that fantastic at bat and driving one almost out, but just kind of got hung up at the deep part of the park in right center.
Yeah, I thought off the bat that ball was either going to hit the wall, short hop the wall, or be a home run, that the game was over. And it just kind of died out there, and Patterson was able to run it down easily in right center field. Off the bat, it sure didn't look like that was going to be the result. There's been games where that kind of a ball just shoots out of here. Been games on this homestand where that was the case, but it's just not the case this afternoon. You could still win a ball game even though you've let those chances squander. But it's going to be later than it could have been, and there's going to be a lot of extra pitches thrown by the bullpen that you would like to have saved for the Toronto game tomorrow.
Absolutely.
But that's past history, and now you just have to do whatever you can to win this one. But it was an extra inning for Neffy. It was pitching when Frankie might have had the day off. But as we've said, that's baseball. That's the way it goes.
Frankie Francisco's thrown 10 pitches, Mr. Grieve, and 9 of them have been strikes.
Well, they've been quality strikes, too. He's hit the outside corner with his fastball. That was his splitter. Gets down and in, gets Fox to chase it. And that's a good sign. That's what you want to see from Frankie. Make quality pitches. Use all 3 of his pitches and make quality pitches with him. That's what we've grown accustomed to with Frankie.
Eric Chavez is going to pinch hit. And a little reminder from Mike Maddox about how to go after Eric Chavez, who kind of reasserted himself the other day when he got in that game for the A's. His first home run in a couple of years. He was on base 4 times in that game. Pinch hitting for the DH, Landon Powell. And rolling right out of that dugout, grabbing a bat against Frankie Francisco. He's down 0-1. The outfield is super deep here for Chavez. They trimmed down Eric Chavez. He was never a beefy Hereford cow looking guy or anything, but he just wasn't this slim at any point in the major leagues. What kind of cow is that on the Chick-fil-A sign? Do we know? The one that's out there and left now?
It's not a Longhorn.
No, I know that. It's got a cap on too, so it's tough to tell, but I'm with you.
I think it's a Guernsey.
You know what? I think you're right if I remember my cow trivia. Wave and a miss. And Frankie Francisco, another strikeout.
3 straight strikeouts for Frankie, and he's had a good fastball today with good location. Trying to throw this one up. You can see Max standing up. He throws it just about the same height Max wants it, and he gets Chavez to swing and miss at it, to chase a pitch a little bit out of the strike zone. The Ranger bullpen has been throwing the ball well. They just need to sneak in a run here.
Chopped foul, and it's now 13 out of 15 for strikes for Frankie.
There's the same splitter that Fox swung and missed at for strike 3. That's strike 2 to Donaldson.
Telling you, foul balls behind first base.
They're going to have to get a ball bag over there when they haul the balls home. The Rangers have had a lot. You think back to the wild pitch when Ian was on third base. If that ball doesn't carry him off the cement back to home plate, that would have been the second run.
That's right.
A lot of opportunities.
2 times runners cut down at home plate. Another foul ball, guess where?
Oh, a kid in the front row behind the dugout ended up getting the carom in the air.
It ricocheted from that mezzanine all the way down there, and glad he was paying attention.
You always have to be ready. You never know when it's going to come your way.
Nice play, my man. Knocked down by Max Ramirez. Josh Donaldson, the former Auburn University standout. The 1-2 delivery. Strike three.
Snake right there. That's the best curveball Frankie's thrown this year.
Frankie getting it done coming out of the bullpen. It stays 1-1. Wilson performed very well today. 7 innings, just 1 run. But it's a 1-1 game in the last of the 11th inning now. And somebody from one of these two very fine bullpens will be a winning pitcher today. A game that has featured 20 men left on base and only 2 runs. Ryan Garko will foul one.
And more pitches than Breslow's accustomed to throwing. He's already thrown 27 pitches. He's had 15 appearances now, and he's thrown 12 innings, so he's generally used in short spurts. But based on the workload that the bullpen's had, this is an exception today.
Garko sends one hovering into right field. Rosales almost overran it, and that's a fair ball. That would have been a break. Garko took his bat with him all the way around to first base. I saw Elvis Andrews run to first base on a bunt the other day. That would have been awkward had that ball actually been fair and kicked away. I don't think Garko would have rounded and headed to second with his bat, but Andrew Bailey, the all-star closer for the A's, is now available. Whoops, that's strike 1, but the ball just slides right on by. This would be some poetic justice if Max Ramirez could win this game. He had a couple of opportunities to pretty much do exactly that in the 7th and the 9th. Grounding out to the shortstop Pennington with the infield in and a runner at third both times. The Rangers still looking for their first extra base hit of the entire ball game. Dustin Nippert getting up in the Ranger pen. He was a losing pitcher in the 13-inning game on Tuesday. Rich Harden gets the call in his native Canada tomorrow. And the Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays, first of 2 trips up north for the Rangers here in 2010. Max Ramirez down on strikes.
A tough day for the bottom of the order.
Yep.
Smoke had a base hit. In fact, that put men at first and third with only one out in the ninth inning. Borbone had a walk, a stolen base, and scored a run.
Well, if the A's stay in the race, it will be because of their pitching. I think everybody agrees on that. And we have seen in 6 games over a stretch of 10 days against this ball club, they absolutely can pitch. They should only get better. Brett Anderson is on the DL. Justin Dukeshire is on the DL. Those are 2 of their 5 starters. 2 of their best. Oh, it helps having a lockdown bullpen, too, doesn't it? Ben Sheets lasted 6 innings. It's been the bullpen since then. Borbone did draw a walk, and he stole a base back in the 3rd, but has not gotten the ball out of the infield during his official ABs. A strikeout and 2 groundouts. There is the possibility of rain a little bit later in the evening tonight. It's among the reasons you hope this one doesn't go into the evening tonight. Borbone towards left. Boy, doesn't anybody want to go to Canada? You have to wait a little longer. The Rangers and the A's are going to play the 12th.
The A's don't want to go to Canada.
They don't have to. Don't worry. Back in just a moment. And A's will see the dawn of the 12th inning. Dustin Nippert actually saw the 13th inning in that game on Tuesday night, and he was the losing pitcher, dropping to 1-3. Dustin's just walking too many guys. I think Tom is the big issue here. Obviously, 4 home runs is something to keep an eye on as well, but getting behind a lot that has led to either walks or home runs.
Well, the leadoff walk hurt him in the first game of this series. And so Dustin tried to get that leadoff hitter right here at the bottom of the order. Gross and Patterson, who came into the game.
Gabe Gross, line shot, base hit. The very first pitch thrown by Dustin Nippert. Hamilton again does a great job to get to it quickly. But here come the swinging A's. After Frankie Francisco not only retired the only 4 batters he faced, but he struck all of them out.
Yeah, that's the best Frankie's thrown this year. No doubt about that. And Dustin threw strike 1, but Gross was ready for it. Pitch on the outside half of the plate. Good job of hitting right there by Gross. Stroked it sharply into left field. Pretty safe situation here. If you want to guess what they're going to do, you'd have to think they're going to bunt.
Eric Patterson has to do that. That's the first hit for the A's since the 8th. Michael Young creeping in on the grass at third. And there's the bunt towards Garco. Shuttles it along to Kinsler. And the A's indeed have that go-ahead man at second base for the top of the order. Cliff Pennington maybe is due. He scares you a little bit. He's been a very productive player for the A's this year. And today he's 0 for 5. He is 1 of 12 lifetime against Dustin Nippert. Are people called tall drinks of water anymore? Or is that like really an old-fashioned thing to say?
I don't know.
Dustin is a tall drink of water.
I've never said it, but
no. Well, you're not old-fashioned. You're modern. A pop-up.
A tall pop-up.
Dustin Nippert, 6'8", 220. Getting Pennington to pop out, and Adam Rosales will be the batter. Nippert was a very useful member of this Ranger team last year. Whatever they asked him to do, he did it pretty well. Missed the first 3 months last year, had that rib cage injury, so really didn't get going until June. But he did a little bit of everything and had pretty much a career year. Dustin usually does pitch pretty well against this Oakland team. That was the case last season. Got a couple of spot starts against him. Rosales offered. And Nippert was kind of roaring back after that first pitch single by Gross.
He dropped a curveball in for strike, and then he got him to swing at another one. And so good opportunity at 0-2 to kind of work the hitter here. Keep the ball away from the strike zone. See if he can get him to swing at a pitch out of the strike zone. Trying to throw a high fastball here, it looks like. And it worked.
Bye-bye. Adam Rosales is out, and the Rangers now will try to win it in the bottom of the 12th. With Andrews and Young and Hamilton coming up. Half is on. It's 1 run, 7 hits both ways as we go to the bottom of the 12th inning. 21 men left on base combined in this game. And the all-star closer for the A's, Andrew Bailey, had set some pretty decent Oakland records over essentially a 2-year span until Elvis Andrus got him just the other day. 27 saves in a row. Got to go back to Dennis Eckersley for a run like that. But it ended when Elvis took Andrew Bailey up the middle on Tuesday night, and this time Elvis drops one into right center field.
4 hits for Elvis. Second straight time he's led off an inning with a hit. Actually, the 3rd straight time. The 8th, the 10th, and the 12th, he's led off with a hit.
Well, and having been nosed out by Andrew Bailey for Rookie of the Year last year, a little bit of revenge in this series. Had the game-winning hit, or what looked like the game-winning hit the other night. Didn't end up that way because the A's rallied. And now this one, maybe, will set the table for a Rangers win. Up high to Michael Young, who walked in the 10th inning following the Andrus hit. Michael takes it to right field and heading towards the crowd. And there's your winner of the foul ball sweepstakes, folks.
Michael's got that hole to shoot at between first and second. If he shoots a ground ball out that way, the outfield's fairly deep. They don't want to give up a double and let Elvis score, so a base hit has a better chance of falling.
Elvis is tagged out trying to steal. Michael Young does not get a chance to drive him in, and Elvis has now been caught stealing 3 times more than anybody else in the American League. He is second in the league in steals, but he's been getting caught a bunch too.
He didn't have a very good jump right there.
It's a career high 4-hit game for Elvis. That's the good news, but that caught stealing hurts. You don't get many base runners when you're facing Andrew Bailey. I think you got to kind of hoard your opportunities a little bit.
Yeah, and the other side of it is you've got the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. So I don't have a problem stealing, but you've got to make sure you get a good jump and you feel like you can definitely steal it. But he was pretty much out all the way there.
This ball falling foul. Gonzalez never did get to it.
He overran one and just barely caught it in the last inning. He had to reach back into fair territory to catch it. And that one never did quite get to it. And Michael another shot.
The 5th Oakland pitcher of the afternoon, Bailey. And the parade of foul balls to the right side continues. Well, the Rangers do have 8 hits, but again, all of them have been singles today. They've drawn 5 walks. You'd think they have more than 1 run right now, but they don't. Michael Young draws another walk. And Josh Hamilton will have a chance again. But this time against a righty instead of a lefty. Young, Hamilton, and Guerrero. In fact, you can throw Kinsler in there too. That big part of the order, 2 through 5, is combined for 1 hit today. And it came from Josh in the 6th inning. Michael's 0 for 4, but with 2 walks. Guerrero is 0 for 5. Kinsler's 0 for 2 with 3 walks. Hamilton, ground ball, base hit. And Michael Young had a thought about going to third, but he'll play it safe. And Vlad Guerrero will come up now with 2 on, 1 out. The opportunities continue to present themselves.
David Murphy went first to third on a ball that Smoke hit to right field, but it wasn't hit quite as hard as that one. Josh hit this ball harder, and so Gross was able to get to it quicker, and Michael really didn't have a chance to go to third base on this play, but similar kind of ball. Let's see if Vlad can do it this time. He smoked the ball the last time up to right center field in this situation. First and second and 1 out. And Patterson ran it down.
Vladimir without a hit so far. Take a big swing and pop it straight up. Donaldson coming back, and he's out of room, though he gave it a pretty good shot.
Yeah, it feels like the Rangers have left an unusually large number of men on base. They really haven't. They've left 11, according to the scoreboard. Oakland's left 10. Doesn't feel that way because of the chances the Rangers have had late. They just didn't have many men left on early in the game against Sheets.
Vladimir tags one left field. That ball taken off. Here comes Michael Young. The Rangers are going to win. The Rangers have taken it 2-1.
Well, they got Vlad the last time on a ball that he hit almost as hard as he hit that ball. Patterson ran down the first one, but Fox couldn't run that one down, and you just don't expect Vladimir to go 0 for 2, 4, 6 in a ball game, and he didn't. He said, I've had enough. I'm ending it.
Not in this ballpark. No way. Will he take an 0 for 6? And Vlad Guerrero gets the hugs. Big one from his manager right there. As the Rangers end up 6-1 on this homestand, and it will be a happy trip up to Toronto now.
Bailey faced 4 hitters and didn't get anybody out. 3 hits and a walk.
Boy, sure did take a little longer than you had hoped. But there's one of those big, vicious Vladimir Guerrero swings.
He just didn't quite get that cutter far enough outside, and Vlad got it on the good part of the bat. And the win goes to Dustin Nipper.
The Rangers have a 2-game lead in the AL West. And C.J. Wilson didn't get credit for the win, but he kept the team in it. And the bullpen with 5 fine innings after C.J. did what he did today. Rangers 2, the Oakland A's 1 in 12. Our next telecast tomorrow from Toronto over on TXA 21. And the Rangers will go to Toronto with a record of 20 wins and only 15 losses. Rangers Live is coming up next. Stay tuned for that. Again, your happy final, the Rangers 2 and the A's 1.